Blog Talk Radio.
Better than diamond rings. That's why we're here to sing football. Sunday in the snow, referees whistle blows. Weekend warriors toe to toe. Football.
The old timers, do you remember the names like Bronco Nagurski and Night Train Lane? Bulldog Turner, my man Sam Huff, in the snow and the mud, they were still real tough. Crazy Legs Hurt, and remember Raymond Berry asked me if they hit hard, and I'll say Berry. Paul, Christian, Buddy, Young Lady Moore, it's them eyes on, they seem to always score. Ed Sprinkle, defensive end for those years. Gene Big Daddy Lipson was the man to fear. You have Steve Van Buren and Otto Graham. Johnny Unitas had the arm of a Superman. We had Charlie Trippy and Gino Marquette. If you're searching for a champion, they're your best bet. Which I could quarterback, like Johnny Lou Jack or even Sid Luckman, as a matter of fact. Do you remember Red Brains, the Galloping Ghost? He could do a 95 running coast to coast. You had Norm Van Brockton, a real great player, so swift with his moves that he could be mayor. Y.A. Tino, Allie Madison, hey, I remember all those guys from back in the day.
It's the sport of kings, better than diamond rings. That's why we're here to sing football.
Huh?
Sunday in the snow, referees whistle blows. Weekend warriors toe to toe. Football. 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 Football.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Callie Michael coming out to a hot new episode of CMT Firestorm, where we bring you the best and brightest and boldest world of football, both college and professional. We make sure we keep it real and keep it raw. With me today, I got my boy Chi-Town Mike with me. Chi-Town, what's going on, man?
What's going on, Callie Mike? Hey, I'm pumped, man. I'm pumped. I'm happy. I don't know if y'all heard the news, but we got the new offensive coordinator, Adam Gates. Oh, I'm excited about my Bears, man. And on the side about your 49ers, Callie Mike, they're going to have a special football life on your boy Bill Walsh this Friday night. So I know you're going to check that out.
Yeah. So you got a new offensive coordinator.
Yes, sir. This happened just now. It was some talk they were talking about Charlie Weiss, man. You know, they was kind of saying it was between him or Gates, but you know, out here everybody kind of. I want to Adam Gates. You know, Charlie Weiss, we all know at Notre Dame, overhyped as the head coach. Oh, offensive coordinator, we all know he's better, but you know, not this time. Experiment time. You know, with Jay Cutler, I think Adam Gates is a match for Jay Cutler.
Do you still have Jay Cutler as quarterback?
Yes. In my personal opinion, I don't think Gates would have took the position if I don't think if Jay Cutler was going to be the quarterback. If they're going to go in a different direction at quarterback, then I don't know. He may or may not have took the position.
Oh, wow.
That's just me. You know, just think about it. You know, who you got out there that's better. If the Bears going to go in a different direction at quarterback, most likely it's going to be the draft. So at this point, I don't think he would have took the position. I mean, I think Cutler is going to be the quarterback for 2015.
We also have with us the original Kansas City.
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing tonight?
I'm doing fine.
I can tell you I am very, very excited for you, Chi-Town. I think Geis is an awesome coach. I wanted him to be the head coach of Florida, and I think he's going to make a great offensive coordinator for the Bears.
And I just wrote it on there, too. That's to say, if he goes, real success happens with the Bears, He's only 36 years old. John Fox is 59. I think he could be the coach in waiting.
My question, and if I may, Cali Mike,
yeah, go ahead.
what in the hell is going on with Denver? So, I mean, they look like they're about to completely change ship and direction here. What's going on?
Well, I mean, when you have a quarterback that no matter how good he is, it's kind of like those last days when Brett Favre was in Green Bay, you know, and he was still good, but it's like they were kind of unsure if he was going to play every season or not, or if he was going to retire. So eventually they just had to go ahead and do the best thing for the organization, you know. And luckily they had Aaron Rodgers to move on with. Now, I don't know, you know, what if they have a backup plan for Manning, but I mean, you know,
what I'm seeing is they are just cleaning house. I mean,
well, I mean, you gave it a try. You can only go so far in a certain direction and see that it ain't working.
Exactly.
You know,
and
Elway, Elway, he's the type of dude. He knows what it takes to win a Super Bowl. And I mean, him being that kind of competitive quarterback, he probably, like I said, he probably seen something in Peyton and was like, oh shit, Peyton can't win. You know, so.
But my question is, how do you do that? I mean, if you are going to fire your head coach, fire all of your coaches, put in a whole new coaching system, how do you keep the same players? What's the use of that?
Like I said, I think we're going to see Peyton Manning retire.
Something's got to be coming down the pipe that we haven't seen. Something.
Yeah, I think he's probably going to wait until the off season, but after that, I think he's going to be fine.
I think for right now, I think Peyton Manning, because they was asking me that, and they said, basically in the reports, they saying that Peyton Manning is planning on coming back for another year. And I mean, prior to him having that exam, so let's see what that checkup comes through in March. But I think he's going to come back for one more year. I just think Denver is just preparing for the future because, he's not going to be there forever. And John Fox, he's my Bears head coach. I kind of was saying that he is kind of conservative to me. Like, because I said in 2012 he was being conservative. I think that might could have caused a little something, Elway thinking like, yeah, Fox, he don't see him being that guy. And I guess, too, they didn't get it done. But, it's on Peyton Manning. I guess Elway looking not just next year. I think Elway's looking down the future. And, he sees something different and had to be a different change. And we all know as a coach wants to bring in his own people. So Adam Gase and Gary Kubiak have two different systems. So that really wasn't going to work. So they decided to move on. And also he was interviewing for the head coaching position there. Let's say that, hey, usually when a guy interviews for a head coaching position on the team he's still on, usually they move on anyway if they don't get the position. So maybe he said, well, hey, maybe we never know. We'll know more. They were talking about that. We'll maybe know more within the next days or weeks or so. Well, I just think maybe Adam Gase probably said, yes, it's probably about that time to move on since, his name was a hot candidate, but he ended up getting the coaching position.
I think they're looking to make some major moves in the draft because think about it, they have made way too many really critical moves in their coaching staff for them to just stick with the same team that they have right now. That would not make any sense to me.
Yes, like I say, it's Peyton, man. Like you said it before, Wiley. Dude has problems winning the big one. Now people, now you got people talking about, oh well, if they get, such and such at running back or Adrian Peterson what all do you need? You got to figure this. You got to remember, this is a dude who in Indianapolis, they had Marshall Faulk, they had Edge, and they still didn't. They still didn't win it. So it's how many weapons
only
can you
one
get?
Time,
it's like after, at this point, it's like the Broncos with Peyton could go 14-2 or 15-1 next season. And are any of us going to pick them as a favorite to win the Super Bowl, no matter what their record is? I'm not.
Nah,
no, I don't see that. Yeah, but you know me. I ain't gonna pick Peyton Manning to win the big game anyway.
No, I mean, you were right. You were right. You know, like you say, you can't. You don't have to no more. You're right. You know, so that's what I'm saying. I think at this point, I think maybe Elway's seen something. I mean, even if he comes back next year, maybe one more year might give them a chance to try to get a quarterback, a backup and put him in place. But I mean, even then, it's like, what are you looking for, Pat? I mean, he ain't gonna play. He's not your answer for 5 more years. You got, he's probably the last, the last dude from. I know he's got to be the last dude. Well, I think him and Charles Woodson has got to be like damn near the last dudes from that draft class still playing.
Yeah, I mean they're both about 40 years old. How long do you play in the NFL? Jesus.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying, because he's gonna be turning 40 years old in March. So I mean, Brett Favre. It was on that time when Brett Favre was breaking down. And Elway too. Elway retired around that time. That's what I was saying. He's like right around that part, and you saw in that game.
Also,
really, I mean,
Manning for the most part of his career, he's been healthy. To start getting injuries this late in your career like that really isn't good. So it's like I said, it's all signs are pointing to him retiring either, like I said, this off season, maybe after the Super Bowl, or next season. We got the Mouth of the South, Clausel Mathis on with us too. Clausel, what do you think about the situation in Denver?
Yeah, I think it's time for Peyton to hang it up. I don't see Peyton leading that team to another championship.
Another one? He ain't led them to one.
Yeah, I know you hate Peyton Manning, but
he got him there. But yeah, he didn't. Just didn't close it out.
Yeah, I don't think that he will. What should I say? I don't think they should make a major overhaul. They should just draft their quarterback for the future in the draft. I mean, you got quarterbacks out there, Bryce Petty. They should draft a quarterback in the first round. They should try one more time with Peyton because he's their best option. Because they're not going to find somebody that can lead them to a Super Bowl. So,
but think about it. At this point, you're not getting but the 29th or the 30th pick in the draft.
Right.
I don't think that they trade up, but I don't see that.
You draft the quarterback late.
Or they really like Ryan Hundley.
Which quarterback? Which good quarterback is still going to be there at the 30th pick?
You're gonna have to pray for a gym. That's what it boils down to, because
Ryan Hundley might most likely will still be there unless he just lights it up in the combine and just everything.
You gotta look at this.
I mean, or you can get a running game.
This team isn't gonna. They're. Claudio made a good point. They're in the. If they do draft a quarterback, they're not gonna need that much more in terms of other personnel besides the QB. So, I mean, like I said, if Manning comes back next year, this year maybe you might, like Mike said, you got Brett Hundley, you got, Sean Mannion, Bryce Petty. It's going to be a couple of quarterbacks, that are going to be, in the first round, type of guys that.
I think defense is what they need to focus on, personally.
Well, I mean, like I said, they got one of the top. I mean, you can't, like I said, it's only, there's only so many positions on the field. It's not, like I said, I think, they're maybe you might get a corner, maybe, but like I said, I think, that quarterback position, if you wait until Manning is gone, that's going to be a big spot. That's going to be your biggest spot to fill. That's how teams fall off. When they wait, when you don't have that backup QB in place. I mean, like I said, I think, like I said, I said that, in our group chat, I think they should try to, I think they should try to make a go for your boy Jay Cutler, Mike. I mean, like I said, I'd like to see maybe him go back to Denver, and get there in that offense. And if Manning retires, they'd have enough money to take his contract. So, You know.
I mean, yeah, and Kubiak, of course, that could happen because Kubiak is a Shanahan disciple, and of course, Shanahan coached Cutler, so it could. But I'm kind of with Tony a bit on it though, because Jamarcus Ware, he's kind of getting up there. He still got some years, but not many years. He still got some years. I still think you never can have enough good pass rushers. I think they could, use some more on their defense. But also too.
Well, you got DeMarcus Ware on one end and Von Miller on the other end. They both, they're both top 5 in sack or top 10 in sacks. So, you're not, like I said, you're not gonna need that much more. Like I said, that's what I'm saying. The team doesn't really need that. They should have won. Let's not get it twisted. They should be going. They should have at least played the Patriots and been in the AFC Championship, if not on their way to the Super Bowl right now. Let's not get it twisted. That's what I'm saying. This isn't a team that got glaring needs.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. But there's something missing, and I can see that it might be the coaching, and I can see where Elway would see where he needs to go in a different direction with it. But obviously, there is something there's a link that is missing, and I can't say where it is because I'm a bit biased on it.
Maybe it's a type of coach.
Say it. Yeah,
maybe if it's a type of coach plus Manning.
Maybe
I'm a bit biased on it. I would, I'm going to say the weak link is Peyton, but it can be the coaches.
Yeah, I think it could be Peyton. That's why I said it's like it might be. You don't want to miss your window. You're only going to be able to keep Demaryius Thomas and Julie. You're only going to be able to keep all those guys together for so long.
And both on free agents. Both on free agents, so they got to decide with those two.
Each year you lose a player, it takes a bigger hit. They saw that. No Sean Moreno wasn't isn't the premier back in the league, but his loss from that team made a big difference in their run game, especially when Monty Ball didn't step up and and the other cats didn't step up. So each year you lose a guy like that, it does make a difference.
Yeah.
Speaking of running games, I cannot believe I hear people talking about how Dallas can get rid of Murray and still be a legitimate team. Dallas ain't been a legitimate team without Murray for the last 7 years. Tony Romo's been there, and now all of a sudden they get a solid running back who is the core of their offense, and then they get to the playoffs, and now all of a sudden they're talking about we're so good we don't need Murray anymore. Are you kidding me?
But they don't have.
Well, I don't know if they don't need Murray, but I think the need to sign Dez Bryant is apparent.
Yeah, they can definitely because they can franchise Murray. Franchise Murray wouldn't be as much. But you talking about franchising Dez Bryant? That definitely would take more of a cap hit than franchising Murray because.
But I'm telling you right now, Dallas would not be in the playoffs without Murray this year. They wouldn't have made it.
You gotta look at it like this though, Tony.
I say Tony Romo.
They got the best. They got the best offensive line in football right now. So it ain't like like I said, and that, like I said, this, in that situation, Adrian Peterson was a situation folks were talking about 2 years ago. So that could actually be a possibility of him ending up in Dallas.
I can't see that.
Yeah, we can. Remember, 2 years ago before he resigned, folks thought it was going to happen. It was, some people were saying it was a done deal.
I can't see that. You got too many Chiefs and not enough Indians. There's no way a superstar like Adrian Peterson is going to be sharing his reps with Dez Bryant.
Adrian Peterson, that's you can't. That's a running back and a wide receiver. That's
okay, but what I'm saying is they both want the ball, and Adrian ain't gonna give up his carries for Dez Bryant.
Dez Bryant got his catches this year with Murray getting his carries. That's like
okay, but Murray is not Peterson.
That's like That's like saying Irvin wasn't going to get the ball with Emmitt Smith rushing the ball. I mean, you know, you can't. I mean, of course, a running back is only going to get 25 carries a game anyway. You know, so
again, Murray is not Adrian Peterson. Adrian Peterson is the best running back in the NFL.
Adrian Peterson is also coming off a case, and is probably also coming off a disciplinary case where he had to sit out the whole season, and probably might.
It doesn't matter. I'm talking about as a running back, Adrian Peterson. You're talking about personal shit. I'm talking about as far as his profession. He is the best running back in the NFL.
His personal affects his value. All that affects his value.
True.
He's the best running back in the NFL. Period.
And Mike said too, he's been out for a whole year.
He didn't even play last. He didn't even play last year, so we don't know. We don't know what kind of running back he is. He missed the whole year.
Look. Remember when Michael Vick came back? Remember when Michael Vick came back? How rusty he was. I mean, I think it's going to be the same for Adrian Peterson.
Let's hear a different opinion. Ed on here, Ed.
I can't hear you. What'd you say?
Ed.
Oh yeah. Are you? Yeah.
Hey, what's going on, Ed?
What's going on? How y'all doing?
What you got to say about this?
Say it again. I can't hear you.
What you got to say about the topic we talking about?
What about the Cowboys? I mean, they do need DeMarco Murray, but they're basically saying that they can get another running back because they're gonna have to pay Dez Bryant because Dez Bryant is more valuable right now than DeMarco Murray. So they can afford to get rid of him because they have other running backs available. Because they can get somebody in the draft, they can make a trade or sign somebody. So I think DeMarco Murray is gone. You know, and as in what Wiley was saying, as in they're gonna have to share carries. That's not gonna matter because he had like 400 some carries this year almost.
Exactly.
And Dez Bryant still had a high Pro Bowl season. So if they do get Adrian Peterson, it's not gonna matter because anybody that knows football, the wide receiver play off the running back. They work together. So, and if one of them had to give up carries or catches, I doubt it would matter because the goal is to win a championship. So they'll be happy to have, Adrian Peterson, or if they want to get a big name. But I think DeMarco Murray is gone because the contract they gave him was very disrespectful. They're saying we don't need you.
Well, disrespectful. You playing off his rookie contract. What do you expect, Ed?
I mean, they said his age too. Though. They said the age he's at, based off of running backs, he's going to start going downhill from now. And like Wiley was saying, Adrian Peterson is the best running back in the league. There's only one running back that showed at the age he was with the injury he had, he can come back and do something. So I'm not going to say DeMarco Murray is not that guy, but I don't think the Cowboys are going to give him a chance to prove it also, to show what he can do.
Adrian Peterson is not going to the Dallas Cowboys.
I agree, and I don't agree with that. It depends on how the Vikings feel about him. That's the key.
Even if he don't go back to the Vikings, he ain't going to the Dallas Cowboys.
Well,
how do you know?
It depends if he's traded or released from his contract. If he's released from his contract, I guarantee you Jerry Jones will pick him up.
How do you know for sure Adrian Peterson ain't going to the Cowboys? How do you know?
Because, like I said, Adrian Peterson is the type of running back that he wants. You're not gonna let me finish?
Gonna say the same thing.
Adrian Peterson is a superstar. He is not going to just be. You're not going to let me finish?
Are you going to say the same thing you said before?
Adrian Peterson is a superstar. He's not going to take a role on a team to just be a star. He is going to go to a team where he can continue to be the superstar. He is not going. He is not going to let Dez be a bigger star than he is on the team he's at. You can say what you want, but Adrian Peterson is not going to go to a team where he's not the superstar.
Adrian Peterson didn't even play last year. His career, folks thought his career was about to be over. He's gonna be happy to get on the field with the contending team.
Are you kidding? This year off actually did him a favor. It let him heal from all of those injuries that he has had for the past 2 years. Now, because you got to realize
the year before last. What injuries are you talking about?
And he was injured at the end of the year. He got hurt at the end of that year, and all last year he was injured. This year, he got a chance to heal from all of those injuries, and he will come back in 2015 and still be the best running back in the NFL. But he is not going to settle for being a lower star on a football team than somebody else on that team. That is not Adrian Peterson.
Adrian Peterson is about to be 30 years old, having never made it to a damn conference championship, while Marshawn Lynch is working on his second Super Bowl. Adrian Peterson is going to want to
You can't compare them. They're on different teams. Adrian Peterson likes
they're the same. They come up. They were the one. They were the 1 and 2 running backs out of the same draft class. Adrian Peterson's going to want a ring. He's going to want to get a championship to cement his legacy.
And it might end. If Seattle decided, which I hope they don't, because I think it'd be a mistake, but if Seattle decided to part ways with Marshawn Lynch, I'll go extra hard for the superstar Adrian Peterson. Because I'm telling you, man, if Seattle make a release of Marshawn Lynch, that's going to hurt them. I know they got to pay
y'all can say Lynch.
Lynch is their engine in their offense right there.
You can say Lynch, you can say Mary, you can say whatever you want. There is no bigger running back in the NFL than Adrian Peterson, period.
That's fine, and his team is garbage.
But also, too, Adrian Peterson wants to play. I mean, even that time before all this happened, he does want to play with a quarterback, man. Now, at this point of his career, I mean, yeah, he is trying to, last season he didn't play, missed most of all season. He wants to play with a quarterback. I know in his mind. So,
everybody, exactly, Mike. That's what I'm saying. That's common sense. Tony Watley believes different.
Because Minnesota, nothing against Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater got some ways to go, to prove himself. I think he's going to be a good quarterback, but right now you got to go with the now and prove it. Adrian Peterson is a future valid Hall of Famer, a Pro Bowler, superstar. He wants to win. Minnesota's a young
You can
squad.
say what you want. Adrian Peterson is not going to take a pay cut so Dez Bryant can get a pay raise. He will not do that. You can best believe that.
This year. He made $0 this year.
What the fuck are you talking about? He got his whole paycheck the whole year.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did. Adrian Peterson got paid the entire year.
Show me what kind of is that, Tony.
I can show you that. He was placed on I can't remember what it's called, but by being placed on that, he still got paid.
He got paid, Wally, but he had to give forfeit some of the money, like $2 million, I think.
He still got paid.
Right now, I'm posting an article from NFL.com that says Adrian Peterson suspended without pay for the rest of 2014. But Tony Wiley's going to argue different, but I'm just going to post the article. Yeah, go ahead, keep going, Tony. Exactly.
Hold on, I'm going to find showing you where he got paid.
Well, you guys look that up. What do you guys think about Andrew Luck?
You guys can check the CMT group page. I just posted the article. Adrian Peterson suspended without pay for the rest of 2014. From NFL.com.
Like I said, you guys keep going. I'm looking online.
No, I wanted to be nice and quiet so you could finally be proved wrong. No. All right, let's go into the situation. Fazil, I don't know if you heard, but I don't know if you saw it in our group chat. They posted an article about the Tampa Bay Bucks saying it'll be a big mistake if they drafted Jameis Winston number 1. Did you get to hear that?
that excerpt, Claudio?
I didn't hear anything, but I didn't see it. I do listen to talk radio, and I know what's going on.
So what do you think about that?
Well, I mean, it's up to Jason Light. I mean, I don't know him personally, and I listen to talk radio today. The whole anti-Jameis sentiment in Tampa is very large. A lot of people don't want to get him. A lot of people do. My thing is, if you want to win a championship, take a big risk. And taking Jameis Winston is going to be a big risk. Is it the risk worth taking? Absolutely. Because, like I said, this is the best prospect I've seen in a long time. So, if Tampa's smart, Jason Light, is up to him. If he's a smart guy, which people claim he is, he better take Jameis Winston with the number 1 overall pick. Because if he doesn't and Jameis Winston ends up being a superstar player, which I predict he will be.
Oh, Jesus.
He is
Eddie.
He's not as smart
Eddie as a Tampa Bay native and Bucs fan, what do you think about that? You think they should take Jameis number 1?
I absolutely think they should take Jameis Winston number 1.
My God.
Let me break it down for you. I don't think everybody on this phone plays sports. So I just want to
hold on one second, Eddie. Hold on 1 second. I don't know if you heard our last show, but we created a little bit of a highlight clip. I want to play for you right before this.
You can play. I don't care. Shit, I don't care.
This is Claudio. This is a little mix up. This is a little mashup. One of our guys did of Claudio. Let me play this for you guys.
He put in the work, but you can tell he's a natural quarterback. You come in off a second season where you've worked even harder, coupled with your natural ability as a passer. I think he's going to be posed to have a better year than he did last year. I expect better numbers from Jameis Winston this year than last year.
From the 50-yard line, Winston drops it, comes pressure, gets the pass away, it is intercepted, picked off at the 40-yard line, out to midfield, the interception made by James Burgess.
Jameis Winston will be ready for the season. He will be even better than he was last year.
On third down, Winston over the middle, almost picked, was it? Yes! Pressure on Winston, delivers a first down throw, intercepted, another first half interception. Winston rolls in the end zone, picked off again! A third pick in the first quarter.
When the game's on the line, he can deliver.
Blitz coming, Winston gets rid of it.
When the game's on the line, he can deliver.
Down 14, Winston throwing into traffic, and he throws another interception.
When the game's on the line, he can deliver.
Trying to rush Winston. First half in the second half, Vince picks off.
When you need
well,
him to
I'm
make
just saying,
a play,
y'all keep having this
he will
same,
deliver.
but man did deliver a championship, so hey.
Picked off, intercepted.
I guarantee
that's something right there you can't argue.
On football in the offseason, as Marcus Mariota did at Oregon. Let's just put it that way.
So Winston back on first down, a high throw incomplete. Action on first down. Winston pressured, loses the ball momentarily, picks it up, but it's sacked by Tony.
I would take Jameis Winston's best versus Mariota's best.
Noel's got to get 5. Ducks rush only 3. Winston has all day, tries to escape, circles back, still alive. Loses the football, ball comes out, it's scooped up by the Ducks, and Tony Washington streaking to the end zone.
I see a guy that has a better feel for the game than Marcus Mariota. I see a guy that's more accurate than Marcus Mariota. I see a guy that has bigger big game play ability than Marcus Mariota.
Mariota thinking fast, makes a completion on the far side, and running free is Darren Carrington. Mariota keeps it for now, cuts back, and Marcus Mariota, a green blur to the end zone. 34 unanswered points to turn a close game into a beatdown.
Okay.
You know, I find it interesting that James only had one game of information, but he didn't chop up anything from those 5 comeback wins that Jameis Winston brought them back.
Oh my God!
This year.
Those 5 comeback wins against mediocre teams.
Now,
go ahead.
Like I said, when you're in the NFL, this is the recipe for, and I keep saying the same thing over and over again. Can you make the NFL throws? Are you accurate? And when the game's on the line, can you deliver? Jameis Winston has passed all 3 tests. Marcus Mariota.
No, he has not. No, he has not.
Passed all 3 tests. Are you gonna let me speak,
wow.
Wally? Are you gonna let me speak, Wally? Just like you said to him, are you gonna let me speak?
Go on.
Tampa better be Jason Light. I'm talking Jason Light. He better be smart not to listen to what the people on the talk radio say. He better be smart. I don't know the dude. Looking at him in picture, he seems like a dude that kind of gets easily influenced by people. But I hope I'm wrong. We'll see. Ed, what you got to say about that?
All right. Well, I want to break it down for you. Why Jameis Winston is the number 1 pick. I just have one question. I know the first answer. He's the African American quarterback from Alabama. Did Jameis Winston win state high school championships in high school football? Is that a yes or no? Anybody?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. All right. Next step. Was he the number 1 recruit out of high school in the nation? Yes or no?
No.
Yes.
No, he wasn't.
Was he the number 1 quarterback recruit in the country? Mike, Cali Mike, was he the number 1 quarterback recruit in the country? Yes or no?
Yes. I don't
answer your question, Cali Mike. I don't want to hear it from your mouth, Cali Mike. Yes or no?
I don't want to answer any questions.
See, that's what I'm talking about right now. There you go. That's how you are. That's how you are, but keep going.
Wait, I don't see where any of this is relevant.
Well, if you listen, then you're going to find out. Okay, go ahead, Ed.
So I got 2 yeses. State championship. He has the height, the body, and the arm. Number 1 quarterback in high school in the country. Okay, go to Florida State. Won the national championship. 29-game win streak. Heisman Trophy. Why is this man not a number 1 pick? Answer that question.
Because there's somebody else that did the same thing.
Okay.
There's somebody else that just went and won all those games and won the Heisman Trophy. His name is Marcus Mariota.
All right, let me
and not only did he win all those games, he beat Jameis Winston head to head.
All right, can I finish? All right, so now we're gonna go over to this Marcus Mariota, who no one even knew of until they started hyping him up the same way they did Joey Harrington. We see what happened to him.
Oh God.
So now back to Marcus Mariota. Marcus Mariota, never heard of him before. That's why he went to Oregon, because he wasn't good from the beginning. That is a fact. Oregon gets all the rejects. Okay, next up, Marcus Mariota. This is a systematic offense. Has not made 1 NFL throw his whole time at Oregon. He throws the guy wide open. because the defense is confused.
So my question is this: tell me how the college football field is different from the NFL football field, because I don't see him make a lot of throws on the college football field that is the same size as the NFL football field. Help me understand.
I am. So you seen the game where they played Florida State? Did you miss those throws? Did you miss those two throws he missed to wide open people? You must have missed those throws in that game that I seen versus Florida State.
All I saw from Jameis Winston was a bunch of 5-yard dumps. I saw the receivers doing all the work.
I haven't seen Jameis Winston in any game miss somebody wide open down the field with nobody 20 yards around him, north, south, east, or west. But Mariota did that.
I saw the receivers doing all the work.
Now, that's my next thing. What you keep talking about Marcus Mariota. What has Oregon done? People talk about Oregon. Oregon has never won a national championship. You keep saying, what has Mariota done? Tell me what he's done.
They just beat
any quarterback, because the same quarterback they had, the African American quarterback before him, had the same type of numbers. Where is he at?
Nick Foles is one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL.
Where is he at? Exactly. So it's a football argument.
Excuse me, but the guy that came before Jameis Winston only lost 2 games his senior year. It ain't like Jameis Winston came onto a sorry-ass team.
But he took to the championship, though.
But let me finish,
they
though.
Won.
There's a reason why that guy from Oregon, before Marcus had the same numbers, not NFL. It's because he is African-American. Mariota's going to hype up because he's a Wyatt. He's not enough.
Wow.
He is not good. Period.
All right.
Well,
you know what? Then that
even let me finish.
Then that should really piss Jameis Winston off when he goes second.
But also, I was gonna say too that your Chip Kelly was talking about he's willing to it's talk that he'll trade up to get Mariota. So I guess he's not too high on Foles.
I have one. I just want to make one more comment. Y'all ain't gonna let me finish. I'm gonna ask you this: what happened where Mariota got matched up against NFL caliber players in the game? What happened? You seen that championship?
Tell me what happened. Tell me what happened when Jameis Winston and Mariota played each other.
They lost the game.
No, we ain't talking about they. How you gonna go from individuals to talking about they? No, Jameis Winston got his ass whooped, and head-to-head, Mariota's numbers were twice what Winston's was.
No, they weren't. I'm just gonna make one more comment. I'm trying to understand why you understand the game of sports. Sports is a team game, not an individual game. It's a team game. So
again, when they played head-to-head, tell me what the stats were for both quarterbacks.
There was 29 wins, national championship, and a Heisman.
No. See, you skipped over my question. Tell me what the stats was for the two quarterbacks when they played head-to-head.
Jameis Winston, 29 wins straight. Heisman Trophy, national championship.
Exactly. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about right there.
That's a fact, though. Can you say that about Marcus Mariota? Yes or no?
That's what I'm talking about. They play. You can take all these crazy numbers. You can take all of this bullshit. But tell me what happened when they played head to head, quarterback to quarterback. Tell me the statistics.
I want to know who's better in football, Tony or Eddie.
Oh my God, that's not gonna work today.
It's real simple. I asked a simple question. Tell me the stats of the football game between the Oregon Ducks and the Florida State Seminoles. Quarterback stats. That's all I want. Quarterback stats. That's all I want.
Wiley, who threw for more yards, Jameis Winston or Marcus Mariota? Who threw for more yards?
Tell me the stats for the game between the Oregon Ducks and the Florida State Seminoles.
That is a stat. Jameis Winston threw for more yards than Marcus Mariota did. That is a stat.
Oh, my God. Well, you know what?
He did. 29 games. What has Marcus Mariota done?
Can we get the stats on the record?
And let's go on another fact. If Jameis Winston would have got in trouble, he would have won his second Heisman Trophy. That's a fact.
Come on, give me the stats. Give me the stats. I just want to hear them.
Heisman Trophy winner, national championship winner. Number one pick. Let's go. Welcome to Tampa Bay.
Jameis Winston's going to go for Mariota. I think Jameis Winston's going to go for Mariota.
All right, like I said, I don't ask you. I don't say it 2 weeks in a row, Clausel Mathis. Put your money where your mouth is.
I don't want to take your money, man. I'm good.
Come on. I'm willing. You can have my money. Come on.
I'm good. I don't want to take your money, man.
All right.
Hey, Tony. It's a clear fact that all the ESPN analysts are saying Jameis Winston is better than him. What are you looking at, Wally?
Hey, Tony, I thought you said it's not about the stats. He could go for 19 and 20 and be 300 yards. We go 1 for 18, and if the score is 20 to 19 and he wins, I don't care about the stats.
I'm talking head to head. Y'all can talk about all the other games, but I mean, I can even go with Kelly Mike when Kelly Mike says this. The Pac-12 is a much tougher conference than the cupcake ACC. So, yeah, he can run up stats against them cupcakes, but what I'm saying is when they played head-to-head, quarterback to quarterback, tell me what happened.
Okay, I'll tell you what happened. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to tell you a fact. All three quarterbacks for Ohio State and Jameis Winston is better than Marcus Mariota. You know that.
Right? Oh, wow. How the hell did Ohio State get in this?
What happened to the dog? You talking about Marcus Mariota? What happened to him?
How the hell did Ohio State get in this? We were talking about Florida State versus Oregon, Marcus Mariota versus Jameis, and all of a sudden Ohio State got in here. How the hell did Ohio State get in here?
Because Cardell Johnson's better than Marcus Mariota. You don't know that? Did you watch that game?
Oh, wow. Here we go.
you watch the game?
Here we go.
6'5", 270. Fearless.
Can we stick with the Oregon-Florida State game?
Yes, Oregon is not good, man.
Oh, wow. They were good enough to beat your bitch-ass team.
Let me ask you a question. How many national championships do Oregon got?
They were good enough to beat FSU.
Two is not a winner.
How many national championships does Mariota have?
It doesn't matter. They was good enough to beat FSU.
How many Heisman trophies does Mariota have?
Head-to-head, who won, FSU or Oregon?
How many Heisman trophies does Mariota have?
Head-to-head. They both got a Heisman trophy. What you talking about?
Now you want to answer that question, but you don't want to answer the other question. How many national championships does Mariota have?
Mariota didn't get a national championship.
That tells me how you are. You don't even want to answer the question. You don't answer the question.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's the problem right there. You want somebody to answer your question, but you won't even.
It's very simple. If you're going to compare the two, what's the best comparison of the two? Is their head-to-head match. What's the best comparison of the two? Their head-to-head match. Tell me about their head-to-head match.
All right, I'll tell you about it. I'm going to break it down for you honestly. Mariota team played better than a team of Florida State.
Oh.
It's not an individual game, it's a team game.
Oh, my God.
He didn't do it by himself. He had to throw the ball to somebody.
Kelly, Mike, can we move on? Because they are diverting.
You're diverting.
They are diverting. I don't ask them 10 times the same question, and they don't start talking about Ohio State. They don't talk about national championships. They don't talk about everything but what I asked.
The same question. We've asked you the same question 10 times, and you won't even answer it.
And I told you, go to, matter of fact, go to CMT website, and on there it says Marcus Mariota is projected to be the #1 overall pick from ESPN.
I saw that one, but that one, last time I heard that Winston is over Mariota.
No. I posted it. Marcus Mariota is projected to be the #1 pick.
All right, Watley. Let me break it down to you. I'm going to try to break it down to you another way. So, you do know that he's never did a 3-step drop his whole year in college. You do know that, right?
One more time.
He has never did a 3-step, a 5-star drop ever in his career in college. But you're going to take him as the number one pick?
Oh my God! Are you kidding me?
It's not going to die. It's what the analysts in the NFL, ESPN people are saying.
So you're going to tell me because Jameis was a 5-star and Marcus Mariota wasn't? What about that ass whooping Marcus Mariota put on Jameis when they played head-to-head?
I didn't say 5-star, man.
What about that ass whooping Jameis got when he played head-to-head to Marcus Mariota? Oh, then it's a team thing, right? Then it's a team thing.
That's what I'm telling you.
It's amazing how it switches to a team thing when they actually play head-to-head, right?
We're not talking about team. I'm talking about Jameis Winston versus Marcus Mariota, like what you said. Again, Marcus Mariota has never done a 3-step drop or 5-step drop ever in his NCAA collegiate football career. You must be able to do that to be a professional NFL quarterback. That's what I'm telling you. If you listen to me,
Jameis operates out of a shotgun too.
He does. He goes under the center though too.
They're not trying to hear you, Callie. They're not trying to hear you.
No, Callie Mike would take Winston over Mariota. So I didn't even know think to that. He already has Winston projected higher than Mariota in this mock draft.
Yep. Kelly Mike's not high on, and Kelly Mike's not high on Mariota too. Even though he's a Pac-10 guy, he's not high on. I mean, Pac-12 guy, he's not high on Mariota.
Marcus Mariota will go #1 overall.
Jason Light, man. I'm telling you right now, Jason Light. This is Jason Light's defining moment, man. Because I'm telling you right now, this dude picked Jameis Winston. I'm telling you right now, he better pick. Oh, James is online now.
You don't got to worry about that.
James is online now. But what I'm trying to say is he better pick Jameis Winston because
Marcus Mariota will go number 1 overall.
But too, Claudio, Ed, you got to think of Lovie Smith, too, because Lovie Smith has final say, too. So if they're in agreement together on that, because let's say it doesn't happen.
I'm not worried about Lovie. For some reason, I'm not really worried about Lovie. I'm worried about Jason Light. That's what I'm worried about.
Marcus Mariota showed when he played against NFL caliber talent, he cannot compete. He showed that. And everybody in the world team who's watched that game showed when you got some dudes that was like what Forrest had last year, bigger than them, faster than them, stronger than them by weight and height. They could not compete. Morgan could not compete. It was like Pee Wee versus high school football. That's what it was.
Yeah, if he plays against a real good defense, if Mariota plays against a real good defense, he's not that good. He's not.
And we saw that.
And Jameis Winston showed against Louisville, who was one of the top defenses in the country, that he can play. So, I mean, I'm Winston, and I hope Tampa picks him, but we'll see, man. It's up to these guys upstairs. We'll see.
Marcus Mariota will go number 1 overall. I don't know how many times I got to say it.
Tell me why.
I don't think Marcus Mariota is going to even be in the top 5.
Marcus Mariota will go number 1 overall.
I don't think.
How many times I gotta say it?
Let me bring James on. I want to hear what he has to say.
Oh God!
What's going on, James?
Oh,
James, are y'all freaking kidding me, man?
Yeah.
Not only will Jameis Winston not go number 1 overall, he won't even fall in the top 5. Thank you. My word. Thank you. Not in the top 5. Because they're going to pick some defensive players, and he ain't even going to go in the top 5. He's not going in the top 5.
I'll say right now, Jerry.
Yeah, hold on. Who said that?
I said y'all must never played football before.
Don't. I know. Come on, dude. Don't talk shit around here. No, because when 2 weeks ago, because weren't you the one talking the most junk about Florida State was going to dominate Oregon in the Rose Bowl? Where were you?
Yes.
Where were you 2 weeks ago?
And
I told him, come back at me in 2 weeks. You remember that, James? Yeah. Where were y'all 2 weeks ago? Where were you last week when I got all on Clausell talking about Jameis Winston doing this and Jameis Winston doing that? Now y'all want to go. Now y'all want to go through that same stuff again? Are y'all kidding me?
Let's do it. Let's go.
Let's go. You didn't tell me nothing.
Okay.
Whatever. Keep going. Somebody say stuff again. Get the fuck out of here. But what I'm saying is this.
See. This is what I'm talking about. He gets real defensive when somebody goes against his Jameis Winston. Oh, that's my baby. Don't mess with him. Don't criticize him. Don't go after his little mistake.
Let me argue. Tell me why Jameis Winston is not better than Marcus Mariota. I gotta hear this.
Okay, first of all, Jameis Winston didn't show me any type of improvement in this season compared to last season. Okay. Number 2, when I observed Jameis Winston over the season, and this is a thing that I discussed yesterday, a lot of people, when they talk about Marcus Mariota, they say, oh, my goodness, man, he can't really do much. He does stuff off his own read, right? Well, when I observe Jameis Winston, every pass that I see him throw is in a shotgun formation. I haven't seen him thrown under center at any time in the games that I've looked at. Games against Louisville, games against Oregon, games against Florida. That's number 1. Number 2, his vision is in question. When you have that amount of interceptions in a season, that's not just form. That's also vision. You got to see the linebackers out there. You got to see the safeties out there. You got to see the cornerbacks out there. This is like stuff when he's not even under pressure. He's throwing interceptions. Okay? Number 3, when we heard all that stuff about, oh, he's going to do this to Oregon, he's going to do that to Oregon and all of that, for most of that game, his offense was basically limited. No real big plays, no stuff down the field except for the first few drives when it got to the red zone, and then by the time they got to the red zone, they got stopped. You see, when you're in the red zone, anytime you got to score, and if you got a guy that's a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback that was a national champion, and now he goes against Oregon, who's supposed to be this soft team and all of that, and he can't score touchdowns when he's in the red zone, that's a red flag for me. So all I can say is this: whatever you say about Jameis Winston, I have a counter, because like I said before, y'all follow Florida State, I follow Florida State. So whatever you say, hey, I got something. So what you got?
Okay, so I heard everything you said, James. You said Jameis Winston's vision. You say he doesn't get under center. And you say he doesn't score when he gets in the red zone. So you talk about his vision. His vision is pretty good. He won the Heisman Trophy. He won 29 games straight. I don't think nothing's wrong with his vision.
Wait, hold on a minute. No. I don't want to hear stuff about 29 games straight, so keep going.
Okay, you say he doesn't get under center. He does get under center because he has to hand the ball to the running back. He doesn't hand it off the shotgun all the time. And then the fact that you're saying he doesn't score when he gets in the red zone, well, unlike pro, college quarterbacks don't have that much leeway to go away to audible from what play the coach say. So you can't blame it on him. It's a team game. So you can't say that you can't say James is the reason they're not scoring. You have to be blocking, have to be catching, have to be running the ball. Everything has to be set. You can't place all these blames on James.
So how do you say that he's the reason that they won 29 straight, but then he can't be the reason that they lost?
No. I didn't say he's the reason. I said why mention that they won 29 straight at all? Then why mention that at all? Because Oregon hasn't done that. That's why I'm saying that.
Oregon.
You guys are still not taking
over the same period. Over the same period that Jameis went 29-0 or 29-1, whatever. I don't even think it was. Hold up. First of all, it wasn't no fucking 29 games.
Yeah, it was. They showed it. They showed it on they showed Miami. They showed USC. And they showed Miami during the game.
That's 30 games. That's 30 games.
Hello.
Jameis Winston only played 2 seasons. Jameis Winston has only played 2 seasons. So he didn't.
You guys are still not taking into account the idea that there is politics involved in this. And I am telling you right now, the city of Tampa does not want Jameis Winston.
So if you know it's politics, how come you don't know that the reason Jameis Winston won the Heisman because he's African American? You know about politics.
Hey, Tony.
What?
Tony. You know, all the time that I've been hearing all these retorts, I have not heard anything specifically about Jameis Winston and his overall play as a quarterback, especially over the past season. All I've heard is something about 29 games and handing the ball off to the running back and that type of thing. I'm talking
5-yard dump.
An individual. I'm talking about him as an individual. I don't care about. I don't care about, you know, Rashad Green being on the team. I don't care about Benjamin being on the team. I don't care about, you know, Bobo Wilson on the team. I don't care about all them. I care about Jameis Winston because...
Absolutely. And Tampa is not wanting to put up with that bullshit from Jameis Winston.
So I want to see. I want to know how, as a player, has Jameis Winston improved.
Let me make this simple. Let me make this simple for y'all, man. Because I'm trying to question some of y'all credibility. I'm not even joking.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
That means you're going to the NFL.
Hold on.
When you go to Florida State, that means you're going to the NFL. You do know that, right? First round pick.
Hold on a minute.
You know that, right?
Hold on a minute.
Let him finish. Hold on. You want people to let you finish. Let him finish.
All right,
you
keep
know
going.
that, right?
Come on now. Come
You
on
go
now.
to Florida State. You go to Florida State for a reason. That means you're one of the top players in the country out of high school. That means if you go to that school, you're guaranteed to go to the NFL.
Why do you keep talking about the high school? Don't nobody give a fuck about high school.
Let me finish. That's what I'm saying.
Who cares about high school?
This is why James Winston's going to be the number one pick. He's taking all the steps. He made all the steps he's supposed to make. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It starts from high school. That's where you get to Florida State.
Nope. I want him to
Marcus
keep going.
Mariota won the damn Heisman Trophy. He must know everything he needs to know too. Or they wouldn't have gave it to him.
He won the Heisman.
They just gave him. They gave him the Heisman because Jameis was fucking up, right?
Yeah, that's a fact.
They gave him they gave him the Heisman as a consolation prize because Jameis wasn't making it, right?
Let me ask you a question then, Wally, since you're trying to
tripping, dude.
Jameis Winston would have got in trouble.
Hold on, folks. I want you to keep going. No, because you said that I lack credibility and people lack credibility here, so I want you to keep going. Since you want to prove something, go ahead and keep going.
I'm finished.
You're finished, right?
Oh, by the way, I played middle school and high school football. No, I didn't play college football because I'm an academic, not an athlete.
I'm not talking about credibility. I'm saying credibility. Y'all haven't seen the same games I did.
Eddie went to Hillsborough High. Told you that's a big high school. I think he said he's better.
But you're talking about how we don't know football and we don't understand football. I know football and understand football.
I never said you didn't know football. I said you lack credibility, but you haven't watched the same games that I watched. That's what I said for the second time.
Exactly.
Nope.
Exactly.
Nope. Who's the one? Now, there's somebody bring a point about Florida State, right?
Mm-hmm.
That Florida State does this and Florida State does that, right? Now, you look at the likes of Marcus Mariota. He's playing for Oregon, not Florida State. When you go to Florida State, you're in there with a bunch of 4- and 5-star recruits. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. You're in there with a bunch of 4-star and 5-star recruits.
Yep.
When you're playing in the Atlantic Coast Conference, you're not playing against 4- and 5-star recruits, mostly, unless if you run into somebody like Miami, maybe. Clemson has a few, maybe. Georgia Tech might look out, maybe.
They ain't trying to hear this, James. Logic don't make no sense to them.
But you see something here? When you got Florida State that's playing those 3-star and 2-star recruits that really aren't necessarily big guys in football, but they're there in academics. Why? Because they go to Duke, they go to North Carolina, they go to North Carolina State, they go to Wake Forest, they go to Georgia Tech, which is an engineering school, and so forth. So now you got that. Now let's flip it to the other side, right? So you're going to talk about Oregon. Let's see. Does Oregon get one of those top 15 recruiting classes year after year? No. But who does? USC, right? Who else is also rated above them sometimes in recruiting? Stanford.
Cal.
Arizona.
UCLA.
Sometimes. UCLA. And yet, they pull off the records that they pull off year after year after year in the Pacific 12 Conference. So, I tell you, who was the one that actually overcame bigger competition during the season? Florida State.
Stanford. Y'all forgot Andrew Luck came from Stanford. Come on now.
So you talk about Florida State doing this and that. Yeah. And those guys going on to the NFL. Yeah. But I said it before and I'll say it one more time. Name me one Florida State quarterback that has been successful in the NFL. You talk about Oregon, I'll talk about Florida State. Let's go.
Okay, I got a question for you. I think more quarterbacks from Florida State made NFL than Oregon have in their whole career. I think that's a fact, actually. I don't want to even go there because I know it's a fact, actually.
Are we really comparing colleges?
More quarterbacks from Florida State made NFL than Oregon. You do know that's a fact. You know that, right? Hold on.
Did Brad Johnson win a Super Bowl?
Who?
I think he did. Right here in this
Who did you say, Claudio?
Brad Johnson. Didn't he win a Super Bowl?
Oh my God.
Brad Johnson.
Name me a quarterback from Oregon who won Super Bowl. I'm not saying
you can only name one.
In the NFL. Name me a quarterback right off the Oregon in the NFL right now. Name one.
You could go with Joey Harrington. You can go with Joey Harrington right now. That's about as far.
Not in the NFL.
He made the NFL. He got drafted.
He was one and done.
Boy, the arguments out here right now are just ridiculous.
You my point. You're talking about Florida State and Oregon here. Come on now. You know better than that.
I say this, fellas. I'm looking at the top 50 rankings they got right now, NFL draft prospect rankings. They got James Winston, number 6, and they got Marcus Mariota, number 11.
Didn't Dan Fouts go to Oregon?
Are we really arguing which school? Come on.
I never heard of that guy before.
Like I said, y'all got to move on with that one.
He's a Hall of Famer. He's not even in that.
Can we stay focused on what's significant, and that is, what will Tampa Bay do? They are the number 1 pick. You have a black coach that just got hired and went 2-12. 2-15. He needs a quarterback that is going to come in and turn that team around. And do you think Tampa thinks that crazy-ass Jameis Winston is going to do it? I think not.
Well, if you look at
Tampa doesn't think he can do it. The fans don't, but Jameis Winston, if you look at the play on the field, he's the only one that can do it.
No, I said the fans. I said the fans. I said the fans.
The fans don't want him. You are right. The fans do not want Jameis Winston. They do not. A lot of fans do not want him. But what I'm saying is, if you want to win a championship, you better miss. They didn't want Donovan McNabb in Philly and see what happened. Look what happened. What I'm saying is, Jason Light, he has to make a big decision here. He wants to win a championship.
It's not about the fans.
He's going to have to make an unpopular decision here. He's going to have to draft Jameis Winston. He's going to have to.
No.
And I say this. If he's as smart as we think he is, Matt, I know you're online. If he's as smart as we think he is, he better not listen to what the fans say and better draft Jameis Winston because he's the best quarterback out there.
I'm telling you.
He will deliver a championship.
He
was the best quarterback that can deliver a championship.
Like I told Eric.
I say this, though. Tampa Bay is on the right track. They got the right guy for the coordinator in Dirk Cutter, so whoever comes in, if they do take a quarterback first round, they inherit a good offensive coordinator, so Lovey Smith got that shit right there.
Draft Jameis Winston. Draft Jameis Winston in 2015 and go 2-15 again, and they will fire Lovey Smith. I will guarantee you that.
Yeah, they'll put somebody else up in there. But what I'm saying is, if the Bucs don't draft him and he falls to the Bears, for example, and he resurrects the Bears franchise, oh my God, he's gonna lose his job anyway. Lovey will lose his job anyway, and Jason Light. For that.
Draft Jameis Winston and go 2-15 again, and Lovey Smith can kiss that job goodbye.
But if they don't draft him, if they don't draft him and he leaves
let's do this. Let's do this to try to clear things up. Let's say we don't know who's going to have the number 1 pick. Is Jameis Winston your number 1 player?
Absolutely, he is. He would have been the number 1 pick last year, in my opinion, but that's another conversation in itself. Mel Kiper even said that.
They said that's a fact. They did say that last year.
He did say that, Matt.
That's a fact. He did say that. That's a fact. He did say that.
Yeah, he said the number 1 pick.
Why do we sit with hypotheticals? We know Tampa is the number 1 pick.
Well, what I'm saying is,
why do a hypothetical?
What I'm saying is, who's your number 1? Who are your top players? What I'm saying is, regardless, Tampa's gonna pick a quarterback, so that's gonna affect who the number 1 player is gonna be.
We don't know that. We don't know that.
We do know that. You know we need a quarterback in Tampa.
No, they're not gonna draft. Hold on. Tampa is not gonna.
They may not take one in the first round, though.
They're gonna take Marcus Mariota. They're gonna take Jameis Winston, or they're gonna take that pick and trade down. That's what's gonna happen. They're not drafting Marcus.
So hold on, Cosmo. So you're saying, that there's no chance the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to draft Marcus Mariota?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
He's crazy as hell.
I don't think Marcus Mariota is going to the top 5. I think it's either going to be Jameis Winston or they're going to trade down.
No.
One of the two.
He crazy as hell. He talking off the tip of Jameis's dick.
But see, this is what I'm saying though. When people say, it's not that easy to trade down. Just everybody wants their team to do that and trade down and get all these picks, but it's not.
No, there is no way after going 2-15, Tampa is going to allow them to trade down and lose out on Marcus Mariota. There is no way.
Well, hold on.
I don't think Mariota's going number 1.
Have his out. No,
right
Jason
now.
Light can have his out. Jason Light can have his out. He can say, okay, well, I'm not too sold on Winston. I'm not sure about his off the field issues, so I just want to play it safe and trade down, and he can get some. He can buy some. He can buy.
They are not trading down.
Away with the fans.
Hey,
that's what he can do.
They are not trading down.
Like Matt said, hey, he's not going to worry about what the fans say.
Okay, let me
find out. We gonna find out.
Let's hear what Matt has to say. Matt, what's up, man? Matt. Okay,
Matt ain't on. Hey, am I still on?
Yeah, we hear you, James.
All right, now, everybody's talking about Jameis Winston and his off-field issues. I'm not even caring about that. I'm caring about what he's doing on the field, okay? And when I see him on the field from last year, I saw a significant dive, and that will cost him. He may end up with the St. Louis Rams in the draft.
That's
and the Tampa Bay Bucks. If they don't get Williams, they might as well trade down. I say they get a defensive player at number 1.
That's not going to happen.
I got Mariota number 2, and I got Williams at number 1.
That's not going to happen.
I don't think right now, based on what they're saying, especially from the championship performance, Mariota kind of slipped, man. I don't know right now. If the draft would have been, let's say, tomorrow, I don't think Mariota will be going top 5. He might drop down to the top 15.
That's media speculation. No player is going to slip from one game after being a number 1 player all season. That's me.
And the Heisman Trophy winner.
Yeah, So like I say, he actually played very well in that game. But like I said,
he did.
That's media shit. So I don't.
And listen, what I'm trying to make y'all understand is there's such thing as a combine. And I'm telling you right now, Marcus Mariota is going to show out at the combine, and he is going to go number 1 overall.
Okay, so these are the words out of an actual NFL player's mouth. I'm sure you guys watched First Take. I'm sure you guys saw First Take last week when they were in Dallas. In case you didn't see it, they had Joey Harrington on the show. They also had Chris Carter on the show, Hall of Fame Pro Bowl receiver. It's just that word to it. I don't know what Joey Harrington is talking about. There are not many Oregon quarterbacks in the league. Don't see them.
Who gives a damn? Who cares?
Okay, this is what I'm telling you.
You're good. It don't matter what they.
Let me finish.
So what you're saying is they shouldn't draft Marcus Mariota because there's no Oregon players in the NFL? That fucking makes no sense.
It doesn't, because that's what you said. That's what you said, not what I said. It doesn't make sense. You're right.
Okay, then what's your argument that you just have to watch in Sports Center and they said there's no Oregon players in the NFL? Who fucking cares?
Like I was saying, this is coming from a person that plays football and pro football. He obviously sees that this man cannot throw. A la Tim Tebow, a la Joey Harrington, a la Marcus Mariota. The guy can't throw, man. This is coming from a NFL receiver Hall of Famer. I think I'll take his opinion over anybody else.
Hold on. Hello?
Hold on. What FSU quarterback has done anything in the NFL?
Oregon. There's not every people in the league in Oregon in the NFL.
Huh?
It's not many people from Oregon University in the NFL.
What does that matter? I don't get the point here. Why are we arguing what players are in the NFL from Oregon? That makes no fucking sense.
Hey, I got something too. Why are we taking the words of Joey Harrington and Chris Carter? Are they NFL scouts?
The NFL players. They're Hall of Famers.
Are they NFL scouts?
A lot of NFL scouts
are they NFL coaches?
Yep.
No, Carter is not a coach. Is Harrington a coach?
Carter's a Hall of Famer, man.
He's a Hall of Fame receiver.
Are you crazy?
I did. No, yes or no.
Some indication
yes.
of what a good NFL quarterback is?
Yes or no. Is Chris Carter an NFL scout? Yes or no?
No, not officially, no.
Yes.
Okay, then.
Yes, he is.
Moving on.
Y'all are tripping, boy. Y'all are tripping.
Hold on. This dude Clausel said not officially. What does that mean? That's like somebody asking me if I'm a doctor and me going not officially, but I can operate.
but you know what? I got a knife.
Hey, no.
What are you talking about? I didn't say that. What are you talking about? But anyway.
Chris Carter's not an NFL scout, but he did stay at a Holiday Inn last night.
Hold up. Chris Carter. Chris Carter and Joey Galloway both said it's not even close that Jameis Winston's a better NFL prospect. He said it's not even close. Todd McShay said it. Mel Kiper said it. I mean, all these big...
Mel Kiper picked a fucking Mariota over Winston in his mock draft. What the hell are you talking about?
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
Look it up. Look it up right now. You're lying. No, he didn't. He never did. He's lying.
This is what I'm saying. You can't. I mean, no matter what these dudes say, their word is not gold. Like I said, I just posted 2 articles in the CMT group of Mel Kiper saying that the Seahawks had the worst draft 2 years in a row, and that those drafts included fucking Richard Sherman, Byron Maxwell, Russell Wilson, and he said they were, and he said he gave them a C- and D grade. So everything these dudes say is not gold. Sometimes you gotta go by the eye and look and see. Like I say, I mean, Jameis, to me, in my opinion, Jameis, he's a more prototypical quarterback right now. Mariota, I like his tools, and he seems like the kind of guy who can learn almost anything you give him. So,
okay, gentlemen, go on CMT Firestorm Facebook, January the 14th. I will read it. It says...
No, don't read it. Don't read it.
And, like I say, it just seems like Mariota's the type of guy who can learn any kind of offense you give him. So, I mean, to me, it really depends. Like, kind of like what Clausel said first. It depends on whoever's picking what he wants in his quarterback. I mean, neither one of them is going to be neither one of them is a bad quarterback. So, I mean, like
January the 14th on CMT Firestorm, it says Mariota was projected as the number 1 overall pick to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and ESPN insider Todd McShay's latest mock draft. He also recently was tabbed as the top-ranked overall prospect by ESPN insider Mel Kiper Jr. How the fuck you gonna tell me? It's right here.
Well, like I said,
go on CMT and read it. January the 14th. It's right there.
CMT is a website that you can put anything on. ESPN, you can't edit ESPN. Give me a real website.
No, what I'm saying, I took it from ESPN. Go on CMT and look at the link that I took from ESPN that says McShay and Kiper said that Mariota is the number 1 overall draft pick.
I'm looking at it right now, man.
Okay, and what does it say?
It says you're a liar.
Oh my God! Okay.
That's which player you think is better. But anyway, we're getting nowhere.
Man, that ain't gonna mean nothing. It changes any time. So we still got ways to go, man. It's gonna only be the draft is in May. So hey, anything from now on can change. So hey, one minute they say this person, next minute they say that person. They flip flopping.
Yeah, we're getting nowhere on this. So let's change subjects right now. I want to get on this.
Before you do that, I got a question for Tony.
What's up?
Hey, what score do you think Jameis Winston will have in the Wonderlic test?
What? One more time.
What score do you think Jameis Winston will have in the Wonderlic test?
Shit,
y'all keep going.
Hell no.
He's gonna have a very good score because Claudel's gonna sneak in there and take the test for him. So he's gonna have a very good score.
Can't believe y'all, man. I can't believe you guys. The things you guys are saying.
But anyway, let's change the subject. I want to talk about this inflation.
Oh boy.
Let's move to NFL. What do you guys think about this? I think that, I don't know. Like I said, a lot of different quarterbacks are talking about how the inflation of the balls affects the game and how the quarterback can grip the ball or whatever. To me, it's just it's another black notch against the New England Patriots. I mean, it's like how many little things can people try to kind of like play off and not say that they're advantages. I mean, like I said, they did that shit for a reason. So, I mean, what do you guys think? And if you think they did cheat, do you think there should be a punishment? I mean, what do you guys think about this?
Well, you know what? I have a question about it. I mean, we call this thing Deflategate and everything like that, and they deflated 11 out of 12 balls. But one of the things that I caught in one of these radio shows was that, even though they deflated the balls or whatever, the officials have to approve the footballs before they are taken out on the field.
Well, what happens is, though, the officials approve the balls, and then they give them to the officials approve the balls before the game, and they approve 24 balls, and then they give 12 balls to each team's ball boy.
Right. Well, the thing is if they did deflate the balls, and if they did that, they could have did that after, because what I heard was that they approved the footballs about 2.5 hours before the game started.
They were approved and everything. Like I said, they were approved and everything was A-OK when they came from the refs. So
my point is very simple.
Whatever happened was specifically done by the Patriots staff.
My point is very, very simple. This is just a story for a 24-hour ESPN news organization that has nothing better to do. Why? Because I don't give a damn what the inflation of that ball was on the Patriot side. It ain't got shit to do with Indy scoring 7 points. You can say whatever the hell you want to say about what the Patriots did. Indy scored 7 points. So that's all that really matters to me.
True, Tony, but there's a reason that they did it. They did it for a reason, or else they wouldn't have done it.
It doesn't matter. The point that I'm trying to make is Indy threw an interception for a touchdown, so that would have tied them at least. And New England kicked the field goal. So automatically, even if you took every touchdown that Peyton Manning threw, New England still beat Indianapolis.
That's not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about the Inflategate.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying. It's a non-issue. Because if you took every touchdown that Tom Brady threw away from them, Indy still lost the game.
It's a major issue right now.
It shouldn't be. That's what I'm saying. It's only a major issue because you have a 24-hour news media that has nothing else to do because there's only one football game left.
To give your team an advantage is going to be a major advantage. That's like saying...
Again, you have 24-hour news media with nothing else to do for 2 weeks until the Super Bowl, so they got to come up with something to talk about for 2 weeks. So they come up with some Inflategate, which is stupid.
That's like saying it wasn't an issue when they recorded the other team's practices. Anything you do to give yourself an unfair advantage is a huge issue.
Okay, then we should talk about Indy's unfair advantage with that sorry-ass offense they had that only scored 7 points.
No, what you want to turn this is, you want to start doing Andrew Luck bashing, which is insane.
No, what I'm trying to say is it doesn't matter what the Patriots did. Look at what Indy did. They didn't do anything.
They did it for a reason, so obviously it does matter. They wouldn't have done it.
My question is, does the inflation of the ball change the outcome of the game?
Yes, or else they wouldn't have done it. I already answered
How
that.
could it have? 3 of the touchdowns were running touchdowns, not throwing touchdowns.
Why did they do it, Tony? Why did they do it?
One of the touchdowns was an interception from Andrew Luck's ball, and they kicked the field goal. So that in itself is over 30 points.
Wow. You're right. Okay, why did they do it then?
30 points on the board that had nothing to do with the inflated footballs.
Okay, why did they do it then?
30 points on the board that had nothing to do with inflated footballs.
You don't say. Okay, why did they do it then?
30 points on the board that had nothing to do with inflated footballs.
Okay, I agree with that. Okay, why did they do it then?
The point is, they would have lost.
That's not the point. I just asked you a question. Are you going to answer the question, yes or no?
You don't even know that they did it. You're just assuming that they did it. No, they have not proven it. It is not proven.
Yes,
no, it hasn't. It's still allegation.
Yes, it has been proven.
Okay, then who are they blaming for it?
Belichick fired one of the ball boys for that.
That's what I'm saying. It's already been proven. Okay, well, well, actually, you know what? That means since you don't know it's been proven, that means you're just arguing and you don't know what you're talking about.
So it's been proven.
Okay, what do you guys think? Everybody else besides Tony, obviously, because he didn't know what he's talking about. You guys, how do you guys think this will affect the game? And if so, what do you guys think should happen?
Well, I would say I'm of the same mindset as Watley, but they did take out of the ball. They did it because they wanted to get a better grip on the ball, and obviously Tom Brady knew that from playing in a cold weather city, so that's why they did it, to help him throw the ball and grip the ball. It gave them an advantage. But I say it gave both quarterbacks an advantage. But so I don't understand what the big deal is, but it gave both.
Well, they play. Well, it's not both. They play with different balls. Each team has 12 balls.
Mm-hmm. Say it again, Mike. I didn't hear you.
I said each team has 12 balls, so they only did it for their balls.
Mm-hmm.
And one of those balls that was a touchdown was intercepted from Indy, so it was an inflated ball that gave them 7 points.
What?
I mean, that's the Patriots, man. But on the flip side of that, Mike, they say everybody in the NFL is cheating. They just keep getting caught. According to Herm Edwards, everybody doing stuff. They shouldn't be taping stuff. They shouldn't be taping and doing stuff. Everybody.
But the thing is, though, every it's like I agree with that, and I think maybe more teams, but it's like they say, it's who gets caught who matters, and this is the second time the Patriots have gotten caught doing something dirty.
That's because they got the spotlight on them. Everybody's looking at them.
Okay, Tony. Okay. It's
the truth.
Oh, it is. I agree. But it still does not mean that they didn't do anything.
I heard some other reports. They said they still, they tested the balls before the game. They said all the balls checked out fine. So
that's true, Mike.
Well, you guys, like I said, you guys aren't listening with me in there. They tested the ball. The referees test the balls before the game, and they give the balls to the team. Like I say, it's not. They found that these balls were deflated. This isn't, like I said, this isn't anything nobody's making up. This has been proved. It's been released already. 11 of 12 balls were deflated by 2 pounds apiece. Like I said, this is a fact. This isn't nothing nobody made up. This shit has been released.
Yeah, that's a fact. You're right.
So I mean, it's not really up for question whether it happened or not. It happened.
You know what my problem is about this? It's not that, they're doing this, but it's almost like they have this silent bravado that no matter what they do, they're not really going to get punished for it.
I mean, you look at the New Orleans Saints with what they did, and you know, Goodell dropped the hammer on them. But with the New England Patriots, you know, they do something like this, or you know, the whole thing about stealing plays and all that. And do you see Belichick getting suspended? Nah.
Why is it the New England Patriots are the Darth Vaders of the NFL, while Denver or anywhere Peyton Manning is fucking Luke Skywalker?
Did you just hear what he said, Tony? He just said that when the Saints did something, he dropped the hammer on them, but he didn't do it with the Patriots.
I did. You didn't answer my question. Why is it no matter where Peyton Manning is, he is Luke Skywalker, but no matter what the New England Patriots do, they're the bad guy?
You're using an analogy that's already been proven wrong because he's already came down harder on other teams' work for less stuff.
Yeah, they was just talking about that. They saying, I was saying on the radio, they were saying, well, should Belichick be suspended for the Super Bowl? Or should, you know, of course they were talking about the Patriots.
How the hell can you suspend Brady? You don't know he told them to do that.
They're not going to do
that. He said Belichick.
I said Belichick, not Brady.
Oh.
Yeah, they're not going to do that.
I didn't hear that.
Ready to argue, like I said, dude, you don't even listen, man.
Hear that? Damn.
They're talking about draft things. Well, the Wiggins fight, if they found guilty of that, you know, of course, they're going to lose some draft picks and probably definitely going to get fined. They were saying Belichick probably definitely should miss some games and maybe just be suspended for half the season. You know, talking about the New Orleans situation.
Don't make it mountains out of molehill.
That was a recommendation. It was take draft picks, buy him $1 million, and suspend Bill Belichick. That's what they should do.
I don't think it warrants that, man.
Or is that bad?
Now, I know they ain't gonna
like I say, let's look at what happened to this situation in New Orleans. A situation that was proven that nobody actually got injured from, and they fired the one dude and suspended who was it? Was it Sean Payton? Sean Payton or whoever was it?
For the whole year.
Season. Yeah.
Yep.
And you got to remember, this is after that. You know, like I said, this after they won the Super Bowl. This affected their whole. You know, this kind of damn near changed their whole franchise.
Come the fuck on. Are you kidding me? The Saints were putting fucking bounties out on people's fucking bodies. Are you kidding me?
Nobody was injured.
They were putting fucking bounties out on people's bodies.
Injured.
You don't know that?
Was injured.
You cannot prove that.
You know if somebody was injured or not, Dumbo. Nobody was injured.
But football to me is a brutal sport anyway. So I mean, I'm not offensive. Yeah, I'm going to get a bounty on you.
And just like you said earlier, Wiley, this is something that they came out and every player said, yes, our team did that. Every player from the NFL team said, yeah, we do that shit.
So it's like, hey, everybody does it, but it's about who gets caught. It's all about who gets caught.
Just like I said earlier. So why is it different now, Watley?
Again, you can say what you want, but a fucking inflated football is not the same thing as somebody putting a bounty on a man's head.
This isn't me saying anything. I'm not making this up. This is stuff that happened. So it's not me saying.
Again, an inflated football is not the same thing as putting a bounty on a man's head.
Even Drew Brees said.
Okay, what about taping practices?
What? Wait, hold on. Say that again.
I missed the question.
I was gonna say this.
I said, what about taping practices?
Now, you
go ahead, Chantel.
I was gonna say, even Drew Brees said that affect the season, that bounty, and then if it's lost the team and Payton, and of course he was pissed about the Bills' decision about Sean Payton being suspended for all you're saying it was unfair. So now, if I'm a New Orleans Saints fan, I'm looking to see what the hell the league gonna do after this situation. Exactly. This situation, I mean, we all know it's not going away. It's going to be talked about next week in media, and then after the Super Bowl, they're going to be talking about it in the Super Bowl. shit, that might be a whole distraction for New England. They ain't like, let's say New England loses the Super Bowl.
All this is going to do is embolden New England. Matter of fact, with this going on, I changed my pick from Seattle to New England to win the fucking Super Bowl. Why? Because you're pissing them off.
Dude,
you're
crazy,
pissing them off.
Well, I mean,
wait a minute. First of all, the bounty gate did nothing to give anybody a competitive advantage. The bounty gate was not cheating.
Is this a physical, brutal, I'm going to kick your ass type thing in football? I'm going for you, man. I'm going to knock your blade and tear your head off.
Something that they all said that they do.
Now,
it's
this
the
whole thing about
second time caught cheating.
This whole thing about inflated footballs and affecting the score of the game, and I don't like really talking about it that much, but when you affect the score of the game, you affect what's happening in Las Vegas. You know that, right? So that stuff is like you're messing with money that isn't necessarily directly dealing with the NFL. So you really want people to mess around and have inflated footballs and the NFL and that type of stuff? Oh, no, I don't think they want to play around with that.
Yeah. I just don't see where it's a big deal because New England beat the shit out of Indy, inflated football or not. You can take whatever you want to take from New England, but you can't say shit about the fact that Indy only scored 7 points.
Well, everybody knew that,
That's not what we're talking about.
That's because that's not what you want to talk about. The result would not be different with the extra 2 pounds of air.
Obviously it is. That's why they did it.
The result would not have been different with the extra 2 pounds of air. So it's not a big deal.
But you still haven't answered the question of why they did it then, Tony. You still haven't answered that question.
The result would not have been different with the extra 2 pounds of air.
Can we go to the NFC Championship game, please?
So you're just going to keep repeating the same thing over and over again?
Because that's all that matters. Did that 2 pounds of air change the results of the game? No, it did not.
I asked you a clear question. Are you going to answer it?
If
yes or no?
if it had changed the game, then I would be concerned. But since they got the shit blown out of them and they only scored 7 points on their own offense, I don't see where it's a big deal.
I asked you.
Because it gave them an advantage. That's why he's saying about it. That's why it's a big deal, because it gave them a competitive advantage, which we all know we got to be fair, competitive, mano a mano, fair on both sides. That's what's been the issue.
Exactly.
That's the issue of it. If it wasn't a big
Again,
issue,
like I said, they had 3 running touchdowns. Where did the inflation of that ball matter in him running a touchdown? They had an interception for a touchdown. That was Indy's balls. And they had a field goal. So right there, you have 31 points that had nothing to do with the inflation of a football.
Then why did they do it?
Right there, you have 31 points that had nothing to do with the inflation of a football. Nothing. It wasn't even thrown.
I'll answer your question, Mike. I don't know why he did it. I don't know.
Here's the thing.
I want Tony, who says it has nothing to do with the game. Why did they do it then?
Like I said, all that matters to me are the results.
Nah, hell nah.
Okay. That's all the talk could be. They polluted. I want ballot results.
Another thing that I heard is that when you inflate the footballs, it also increases the grip that you have with the football, right? So what happens is that running backs have an extra grip on the football. So if people try to shoot that ball, they're able to hold on to the ball a little bit tighter than if they would with a cold football that's fully inflated. I don't know if that's really the case or not, but I've heard that.
That means less fumbles. Like
right.
I say, that's a good point. Like I say, James, there's a reason that they did that shit. That's what I was trying to explain to Tony, but he refused to answer the question. He just wanted to keep repeating the same thing over and over again. They didn't do it for no reason. You know, they did it to get some sort of advantage.
I'll say this since the subject we were just talking about.
So what do you think the punishment should be?
I know Fazell gonna like this. I'm looking at the top 50 they got updated on NFL.com. Leonard Williams is the number 1 prospect. Clazel Amari Cooper is number 4.
Hey,
that's all I got to say on that, my friend.
Hey, send me that link. But in regards to the
Patriots, okay, I'll send it right now.
I already gave my views about Amari Cooper. I put that on the Cold Hard Truth page. I think he's a good wide receiver. I wouldn't pick him in the top 5 though.
I would, just based off production.
1 year production.
1 year. He's been balling since a freshman. Since he was a freshman.
Hold on.
Oh my God!
I have a question. I have a question about Amari Cooper. Do you think Amari Cooper is as good as a draft prospect as Julio Jones was?
Not in terms of size and speed, but in terms of production, yes.
Oh,
well,
I don't know about that.
No, he wasn't. Claudio just did some bullshit, but no, he wasn't.
Hey, Mike, you said Julio.
Amari Cooper,
you said Julio was the next CEO. Come on, Claudio.
Amari Cooper was a better receiver at Alabama than Julio Jones was at Alabama.
No, stop, dude. Just answer the question. Just answer the question, man.
He did answer the question.
No, he didn't. He started talking about his production and that he was a better receiver in college. So no, he didn't answer the question.
Yes,
you say he was better. You say he was better than you compared Julio to CEO. I remember all that, man. Come on, man.
Dude, just answer the question.
Hold on.
Owen
Jr.
I did say Terrell Owens Jr. But the thing is with him and TOC, Julio has that straight line speed. The difference was T.O. he could juke you. You know what I mean? T.O. could do that.
Wait a minute, hold on. Let's get back to what James asked you. Is Amari Cooper a better prospect than Julio Jones was coming out of college?
What defines a prospect?
Oh my goodness!
Answer, Clavel. I like that answer, Clavel. I like that.
No, forget it. You're about to start stalling. I don't want to have to explain what a prospect is. I don't want to have to explain what a prospect is to anybody on a sports radio show. I don't want to have to do that today.
Explain what you.
I don't want to have to explain what an NFL prospect is to. I don't want to have to explain that to anybody on the radio show today. I don't want to have to do that today.
You can say David Boston's a better prospect than Julio Jones. You want to say that David Boston was? I mean, you want to talk about production? You have to factor in production.
That's not okay. But like I say, are you going to answer? Are you going to answer the question? He asked you a simple question, and you've turned it into a fiasco.
No, I'm giving you a simple answer. What's a prospect?
No, you're not. Why are you just not talking about David Boston then if you're giving a simple answer? What does that have to do with anything?
Comparison.
That has nothing to do with anything. There's no comparison.
David Boston is a prospect.
What? Oh shit!
I'll go out on a limb. I think Amari Cooper will be just as productive as Julio Jones.
That's not what anybody's talking about. We're talking about a prospect.
David Boston was a better prospect.
Okay, so it's clown time. We'll start acting a fool. Okay, very.
Okay. So you saying that? So you saying that he's a better prospect than Julio Jones, right, Clazel?
No, I didn't say that.
David Boston was.
What?
Okay, well, are you going to answer that question? Yes or no? Yes or no, Claudio? Are you going to answer that question?
No, He just did. He said no. He said
okay.
Julio Jones.
So, because I'll be shocked. I'm like, what? All this time? Because you can even say Julio Jones is better than A.J. Green.
That's what I'm saying. In order for me to pick a wide receiver in the top 10,
I did say that.
He's got to be a Julio. He's got to be a Julio Jones, A.J. Green, Calvin Johnson. Amari Cooper is not. Amari Cooper is not.
He's not.
He's not a game-changing wide receiver.
He's not a Keyshawn Johnson.
He's a
exactly. You know,
wide receiver.
like I say, you notice.
He's a game-changing wide receiver. That's the difference.
I agree
No,
with that.
okay, hold on, Plaza. You notice when hold on, dude. You notice in Alabama's game against Ohio State, they weren't just flinging the ball up to Amari Cooper hoping he'd bring down a touchdown. They were running other plays for other dudes. If you're the game-changing wide receiver, the ball's coming to you no matter what, right?
Amari Cooper's the first-round draft pick.
No, we know that Amari Cooper. We know that Amari Cooper is a first-round draft pick. But we're
James Eddie's goal for to cause confusion.
Is he top 5?
No, but he's a game-changing receiver. He's not. He doesn't have the size of a Julio or even the speed of a Julio, but he's a game changer.
Amari Cooper is better than anyone on University of Oregon's roster right now today.
We're not talking about University of Oregon, so that's relevant right now. That's a relevant.
Can I state something real quick? Quazell Mathis. I just went back and I looked at the career stats for Marcus Mariota over 4 years versus the career stats of Jameis Winston over 4 years. Marcus Mariota completion percentage, 68%. Jameis Winston, 65%. Total QBR, Jameis Winston, 74% his first year or his second year, 89% his first year. Marcus Mariota, 90% this year, 88% the year before, and 86% the year before. So when you put them head to head, Marcus Mariota's numbers are better than Jameis Winston's across the board.
Okay. Next question.
Oh, you don't want to go into that, right? Across the board, Marcus Mariota's numbers are better than Jameis Winston's.
I agree with you.
But Tony, I want to say it again. You say you don't care about the stats.
I don't, but that first round overall pick cares.
Now Wiley wants to bring it up. I thought we were talking about Julio Jones and Amari Cooper.
Next question.
No, Amari Cooper's a game changer. Amari Cooper's a game changer. So
now hold on.
He's a game changer.
Across the board.
Hold it, y'all. Hold it. If we're gonna talk about, we're talking about Amari Cooper being a game changer. The thing is that you see, I see Amari Cooper as basically what I would say, a flanker or someone who's playing wide receiver off the ball. He's not the Calvin Johnson guy. He's not the A.J. Green guy. He's not the Julio Jones guy. He's not the Des Bryant guy. So if you have somebody like that coming out of college, those are top 5 prospects or someone that you say would be right there in the top 5. But with Amari Cooper, it's like, well, we're not sure if he's a top 5 guy. Will he go top 5? Probably. But is he top 5? I don't know.
I compare him, even though he had a monster career and Hall of Fame, which he's one of the candidates this year. I don't know if he's gonna get in this year because of Alabama receiver. To me, I'm kind of comparing him to a Marvin Harrison. We all know Marvin Harrison didn't go top 5. He went in like in the top 15.
I think. I wouldn't deny he may end up at like Marvin Harrison.
Yeah, that's exactly what I put in the article. I think if he goes to Indianapolis, I think that's going to be Peyton Harrison 2.0 right there. I would love to see him go to, but I think, like I said, he's not going to go to Oakland or Jacksonville and make them, and do like Calvin Johnson. He's not that type of dude.
Oh, how about this? When is he like Justin Blackman when he came out of college?
No.
Justin Blackman's better than him.
Yep. Just some off the field stuff, all that stuff kind of messed him up. Because had that not been, he might would have went a little higher. But I wouldn't even compare him to Blackman.
For any of the other two.
Or even Dez Bryant. You're talking about, Dez Bryant was the latest receiver. I mean, I guess you could say Dez and A.J. Green and Julio. You know what I'm saying? You can't even compare the guy to a Dez Bryant.
All right, guys. Let's talk about Andrew Luck now.
Well, I mean, like I said, I look at last year's draft. I wouldn't take Amari Cooper over Sammy Watkins in no way, shape, or form.
So. And one team right now, what's that one thing they said that they would have took Sammy? Oh yeah, the Giants. No, wasn't the Giants or somebody said they would have took Watkins? What team that passed? I saw.
Oh, the Giants said they would have took Jameis Winston last year if he would have came out.
Come on, Eddie.
The Giants.
They were talking about that. They were talking about, some team was talking about Watkins. They would have took him, had he been there. I can't say. I saw an article and they were talking about Watkins. I think it was the Jets.
That's talking about Jameis Winston.
Hold on, Eddie. You said the Giants. You said the Giants said that they would have took Jameis Winston last year.
Yeah.
Wow.
I ain't hear that.
I
didn't hear that.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if people from other cities are calling to try to downplay Jameis Winston in Tampa, to try to get the buzz for the fan base.
Yeah, here we go, man.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Look, man,
I wouldn't be surprised. So
tell you the truth, Quazell.
Tell you the truth. I wouldn't be surprised.
Honestly, Quazell,
I wouldn't be surprised. There's probably a media campaign by some of these teams to try to get in Jason Light's head to deter him from picking Jameis so they can go pick him.
No, honestly, I'm trying to downplay Leonard Williams. I want him to go to Oakland. So I agree. I agree with you. I'm trying to downplay Leonard Williams. I want him to go to the Raiders.
I don't think I want Williams.
Like I said, I want the Bucs.
I saw that mock draft you had. That ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna
Hey,
happen.
Quazell.
I want the Bucs to pick Mariota or Winston.
Quazell, Marcus Mariota's Heisman winning year this year, his stats are higher than Jameis Winston's national championship stats. Look at it.
About that right now.
You don't want to talk about it because you know your boy sucks.
Hey, look,
but anyway.
Hold on one second, you guys. We're about to enter into our overtime period in about 6 minutes. So if anybody wants to call in, our number is 347-237-5539. You won't be able to call in once we get into overtime, but you will be able to listen if you're on the or if you're already called in. So, all right, go ahead, you guys.
Mariota's 2014 stats are better than Winston's 2013 stats when he won the national championship.
You're right, man. He won a Heisman. Next question.
I mean, I don't know much about that, but like I said, I'm pretty sure. I mean,
y'all like to blow it off when your boy looks like a pussy, right? Is that the problem here? Because y'all want to keep talking about how awesome he is, but when we start looking at the numbers and then he looks like a pussy, all of a sudden it's can we move on?
Next one.
Really? If you want to go that way, then okay.
Is that what's going on here?
Wally.
What are you tired of me exposing Jameis's vagina?
Yeah. When they both made it to the championship game, Wiley.
You tired of me exposing Jameis's vagina?
Did Mariota win a championship, Watley?
See, I guess that white girl wasn't the only one with a cunt, huh?
Hey, look, seeing as all three of you guys are in Tampa, is there any way we can organize a football game between all three of you guys? You, Eddie, and Tony, Quazell?
Because the bottom line is, y'all talk all this craziness, but then when the shit hits the fan, when the rubber hits the road, your facts don't show up. Where's your facts?
I just want to get that game organized. I think the public would appreciate that.
Did Mariota win? What's the fact, Wiley?
The fact is Marcus Mariota's stats are better than Jameis Winston's stats. Marcus Mariota's stats, career stats, are better than Jameis Winston's career stats.
Wait a minute, Cali Mike, you know what to do.
Yeah.
You know what to do. You know what?
I just left the studio. I can't play it. I have to call Bill. Go ahead and play it, man.
He ain't gonna play that. I got one thing. Have I ever told you guys about the adventures of Mike from Cali and Mike from Chicago when they went on a road trip together?
What?
Have I ever told you about the pictures of Mike?
What?
Have I ever told you about the pictures of Mike from Chicago and Mike from Cali when they won the road trip together?
Oh, Lord.
What are you talking about? Crazy asshole.
Mike from Chicago and Mike from Cali won a road trip together when we was in college.
Yeah, I remember this story.
Look, I think the public would appreciate this football game if we can get Tony at quarterback, Cosmo at running back, and Eddie at wide receiver. I think you guys get a good team going.
And I guess, Tony, if you lose to Clausel's team, then, well, Tony, will you wear a James and Winston jersey or Florida State jersey?
It's all for public appreciation.
Like I said, y'all keep talking about how Jameis Winston is so much better because he won a national championship, but when you look at the numbers, career stats, Mariota is a better quarterback, which is why he's going to go first overall.
Yeah, we agree. We agree. We definitely agree. You're right.
You don't have to agree. The truth is the truth.
You're right.
We'll see.
Next question.
Look, like I said, okay, so I mean, who's your guys' top running back coming out of this draft? We got pretty much it's looking like it's going to come between Todd Gurley, Melvin Gordon, and this Campbell kid out of Indiana. Who do you guys think is going to come number one? I like.
What happened to Abdullah?
I think he's consensus number 4 or 5 behind. Him and Duke Johnson are consensus tied behind those three.
See,
who do y'all have as your top running back?
Yeldon too.
Huh?
Oh yeah, Yeldon came out.
Yeah. I think I put Yeldon ahead of him too. Yeah, you're right. But I wouldn't put Yeldon up in the top in that top tier of backs. So I put him right in the second tier of backs. But what do you guys think about Gurley? Do you think he can come in and you think he can come in and be it? Because like I said, I wasn't that big on Melvin Gordon before, but like I said, he really opened my eyes in that Auburn game. And I know you were there and you got to see him, Carville. You got to admit, dude can run, man.
He can run.
And he's from the U, and the U definitely produce running backs.
Yeah, you passed by Mike and Mike passed by Auburn on their road trip on the way to Chicago. Did I ever tell you about that trip?
Eddie, weren't you in the car with us on the way to Chicago? Idiot.
Nope, I sure wasn't.
You was one time. Yes, you was. You was one time.
No, exactly. Not the first time, though. Not the first time. The whole time about Mike and Mike. The pictures of Mike and Mike.
All right, that's fantastic. Thank you for bringing it up. That's very special. Thank you. That's a very special moment for me in my life. Thank you. Okay, now back to these running backs. Who's you guys consensus top back?
I don't have one.
Sleepy Mike. That's a running back, Sleepy Mike.
I'm in between with Gordon and Gurley. The thing with I would pick Gurley, but with his injury, I'm not sure how he's going to come back from that injury. So
see, that's my thing. Is the ACL? It seems like sometimes the ACL injury will drop a guy a lot, and then other times it seems like it really doesn't matter that much. I was trying to figure out where I would put Cedric Abugui or whatever his name is from Texas A&M. Before his ACL injury, he was a lock for top first half of the draft pick, and now he might slide. But he's an offensive lineman, so to me, ACL injury for an offensive lineman, especially a tackle, isn't going to be that serious as it might be for a running back. You know what I mean?
Right.
But Gurley's style of running, he's not really a cut kind of block. He's not really a jitterbug kind of cut and juking kind of guy anyway.
No.
So like I said, I don't know how much that will really affect him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my thing. And who was the guy that was from South Carolina? Was that Marcus Lattimore? He had the serious leg injury. And he's only fully recovered from that. So
that was definitely.
Like I said,
that's bad.
it's also for all in how you come back from those type of injuries, especially in college.
Yeah. That's really sad because he shouldn't have came back. Remember that was his second major injury. Yeah, remember he shouldn't have came back after that first injury. He should have just said, "Fuck it, I'm going to the league." You know.
Yeah.
Come on now, you guys know that these guys are not your most educated people. When they get these injuries, they got to get themselves back in the game some kind of way, because if they don't play football, they're going to be bagging groceries.
Yeah, that's why he had that insurance thing. But yeah, at the end of the day, he knew he was gonna go pro and all that stuff. Yeah, he might as well should just chill and enter the draft now. He might end up missing. If he don't go first round, definitely gonna miss $1 million. We'll see how he does in the combine.
Well, I don't know if Gurley's gonna be ready by the combine. Combine is what, next month? I don't know if he's gonna be ready by then.
No, it's 2 more months. Yeah, it is next month.
It's in the spring.
No. The combine is in February.
Yeah, I got it mixed up. I was going to say April, but yeah, it is in February. Yep.
Yeah, the draft.
Middle of February.
Like I say, the draft is close. Like I say, the draft is close. The draft is in April. You know, so I mean, that's it's only, like I said, it's only really two or 3 months away. You know.
You got it in May now. It's in May now.
Oh, is it in May now? Well, like I said, the combine. I think the combine is the last week of February, and then you got about a month of pro days. So yeah,
So if you ain't ready for that, then it's pro days and stuff. Then see how you do there. That could be the extra thing, but I don't know.
I really do believe that you cannot judge, especially running backs, just from what you see from their teams, because it's all about who they're playing. So that the combine really makes a difference in running backs. I really think that. I really believe that the combine is the difference maker for running backs.
What specific drills do you look at when you're looking in the combine for a running back, Wiley?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Each team has their own things that they're specifically looking for, because you might want a power running back, you might want a scat back. It's all according to what your team is particularly looking for. But what I'm saying is, you can see a clearer picture of if that's really a good running back, or if that running back had a great offensive line, that type of thing, because you can see the intangibles of that running back when there's no line in front of him and you're asking him to do certain things. Some of those guys don't show up.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I kind of touched on that with the wide receivers. I mean, the thing with what I said about wide receivers was, it wasn't that, them running the routes. It was also them, being able to read if quarterbacks are doing an audible, if they're able to run block, if they're able to, see what's going on up the line, memorize the snap count, adjust their routes when they're out there after their ball gets snapped. So it's the same thing with running backs. Are they able to pick up the blitz and linebacker or the blitz and safety? Are they able to roll out to the outside if they see a blitz coming? Are they, able to run a good route for 4 or 5 yards? Those type of things. It's not just about running, when the tackle pulls or when the guard pulls. They got to do all of that.
Like right now, the one big thing that is a key for running backs in the NFL is being able to block in the backfield when you have a throwing play. That is a big issue in the NFL right now, because you're getting all of these running backs that can run the ball, and they're great about running the ball, but when it's 3rd and 8 and you need them to block, that lineman is coming straight through them and sacking the quarterback. So it's becoming a big issue to be able to have that running back that can at least hit that lineman for a split second long enough to let that quarterback get off that throw. So, there are other intangibles other than just being fast or other than just being big that you need to be as an NFL quarterback.
Well, in that situation, you just better make sure you don't drop Marcus Mariota. Make sure you get a running back that's better than Marcus Mariota. Because if you got Marcus Mariota, he's going to get sacked every time.
Sure.
Yep.
Okay.
I
Sure.
know.
Okay.
I missed that, but okay.
Yeah, okay.
And a lot of teams are starting to find more and more ways of neutralizing the running quarterback. So I like how I think we talked about on the CHT yesterday. If you notice, Russell Wilson in Seattle, they started running that read option at the end of the game, and it was
That's correct. That's correct.
Man, it was looking kind of good. So I mean, like I don't know if it can work full time, but I mean, shit. You know.
The thing is that with Russell Wilson, the thing he has like a high IQ with the playbook. He's able to understand the playbook that the Seattle Seahawks are able to push out. So it's not he doesn't make that many mistakes. I mean, in that game, yeah, he did throw interceptions, but he was able to adjust his game, and not force things anymore. And once he stopped forcing things, then he was able to get those guys back in the game. Well, partially back in the game. I think the other part was Green Bay basically blowing it, but still,
I think also in that game, it showed the difference in coaching. That I really like Seattle's coach. The reason why I like Seattle's coach, because it's obvious to me that coach is one of those hands-off coaches. He tells them, you're the professional, you know what you're doing, go out there and do your job. He's not one of those coaches like old boy in San Francisco who just wants to be, all over you and you got to do it exactly like I tell you to do it and do it. I like his approach, and I think that's why Wilson is able to excel the way he is because yes, here's the play, but if for some reason something happens, you do have the ability to audible. You do have the ability to do your own thing. He gives him that option, whereas some of these coaches don't give these young players that option. It's do what I say, and that's all you're going to do.
Well, the thing is, I think Russell Wilson is clearly better than Marcus Mariota. You better not draft Marcus Mariota if you want a player that can do what he got to do. He don't have no NFL. He's not NFL ready, Marcus Mariota.
I mean, yeah.
There's no comparison right there to compare those two anyway right now.
Yeah, it's disrespectful to Russell Wilson.
Piggyback off
disrespectful to Russell
Wilson. I like his coaching style. I think he's a good coach. I like the way, like Tony said, I like the way he interacts with the players. I think that he's handled Marshawn Lynch very well because if you notice, the media kind of wants him to bump heads. If you looked at the way they was interviewing Pete Carroll the last time, they were trying to bait him into getting into it with Marshawn, and he avoided it pretty good. So he's a very savvy kind of dude. He knows how to handle himself, and I like that. A lot of times you get a situation where a coach might not be well versed how to handle things with the media, and then you get a blow up situation, kind of like how you have in Washington with
Shanahan.
With Gruden, with how he came out and talked shit about RG3, and then then you got a situation where you got a coach and a player at odds with each other. So that's why
the guy from Chicago that was the coach of San Francisco before got fired. Is because he was not a player's coach. He was one of those dictators. This is where it's going to be, and this is how it's going to be, and the players didn't like that.
Who are you talking about, Tony?
The black guy. Singletary.
Oh. Yeah, that's how it works. I mean, different breed. He's from the 80s. You know how the game now. These young kids, I mean, that yelling, all that don't work no more, man.
Exactly. That whole Coach Dicta style is not how these young boys like to be coached.
People down his pants and moon the team. But after you do that, I don't think you can be a coach anymore.
These young kids, They were raised in a different generation where the coaches couldn't hit them, the coaches couldn't grab them, the coaches wasn't even supposed to really be yelling at them. So, you know, they were raised in a different Pop Warner type style when they were growing up, so that when they get into this NFL style, a person that's just yelling and screaming at them and dictating to them is not something they can be conducive to. They don't react well to that.
Yeah, and I used to see him and Vernon Davis bump heads a lot. Yeah, so I agree with that. Let me ask you guys this question: with the way that the NFL has kind of remolded the game of football around the quarterback position, to where now, you know, it's a lot more quarterback friendly. You really can't touch the quarterback. You're starting to see record numbers of passing yards and touchdowns. Can you really compare the quarterbacks of this age? Like, can you compare a Tom Brady to like a Joe Montana?
No.
Or as far as in NFL or college?
NFL.
That's a tough question.
Yeah.
In terms of their, you know, in terms of their greatness and their legacy, because I mean, I don't think you can. I mean, I look at, you know, you look at the guys back in the day, Marino throwing for 5,000 yards in the 80s. That was damn near amazing. You know, it's like, you know, Warren Moon throwing for all those yards in Houston. That, you know, where, like I say, now that type of shit is common. But, you know, back then, it's like, you know, you really had to stand. You know what I mean? You really had to stand out to do it.
Not really. If you stop to think about it, I mean, if you put it in proper perspective, it was easier for Marino and those guys to do it because defenses were set up for the run. You had 8, 9 people in the box and single people out on the outside with the receivers. So if you had a throwing attack, that's like Air Coryell in San Diego. That's why they were so, Dan Fouts was so successful, is because the defenses of that time.
I'm not just talking about yards, though. I'm not just talking about yards. I'm talking about legacy, period.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm just saying nowadays, you know that every quarterback is throwing 20 times a game, so that you have this Seattle type of defenses set up to where the secondary is more important than that 9 or 10 people in the box. So, you know, it's really hard to compare because the defenses are set up differently against the offenses.
All right, hey, I got a question. Who has a bigger legacy for the Rams franchise, Kurt Warner or Jim Everett?
The Hall of Fame.
As far as like overall legacy.
Kurt Warner. Not about it. Jim Everett was good. But he was, you know, he's one of them guys. You know, he's one of them guys. He was good, but he was never great. You know,
he's like a Phillip Rivers of today.
I don't know. I mean, I used to like Jim. You know, I used to like him when he was in the Rams and everything. But I mean, like I said, he's good. You know, he was just a very.
Dang.
You know, but I mean, Warner, like I said, I think Warner's going to the Hall of Fame.
He's a finalist.
I don't think
he should make it in this ballot.
I think Kurt Warner caught the NFC off guard. The Rams came out with that high flying offense, and it caught the NFC off guard. And that's how they won them 2 Super Bowls. And I mean, I think he hit the spotlight in the right place at the right time. I think fortune was on his side.
Yeah. Hey, my fault, y'all. I just Kevin Durant just basically posterized Marcin Gortat. So
yeah.
Well, you know, there's that. Like I said, he's also. I mean, he came back and did the same. You know, and did it with Arizona too. I think, like I said, I think he's a 2-time MVP. You know, 2-time Super Bowl, 3-time going. I mean, like I say, to me, he's a no-brainer for the Hall of Fame. I mean,
he's already his name in it, but. I'm looking at this class. It's some guys I wouldn't put over him on this class. That's why I don't think he's first though.
At the quarterback position?
Not the quarterback. Just in general, all the finalists.
Like who?
I break it down. I think a shoe is, in my opinion. Orlando Pace is a shoe-in. He was the best tackle. In his era, one of the best tackles. There's gonna be a receiver. I'm gonna say Tim Brown's going to probably get the nod, or Marvin Harrison. I think Tim Brown's going to get it. So that's 2. Because we all know it's going to be 5 people because they got to get 2 people that's senior committee people that automatically have to get in. On defense, Gene Sayles, he's a shoe-in. That's first ballot. So that's 3. Ty Law, he's, to me, one of the best cornerbacks. 4, and then you got a defensive lineman. I think Charles Haley, who should have got in last year, gets in. It's going to be a D lineman, so that's 5.
I don't think Ty Law's a Hall of Famer.
You don't think Ty Law's a Hall of Famer?
Are you kidding? Ty Law Ty Law was the man when New England was winning them Super Bowls.
Like I said, I mean, he's a very good guy, but I don't think he's a Hall of Famer.
Ty Law,
I don't know about that.
He's back.
Was he ever? Was he ever the best cornerback in football?
Yes.
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't, man. No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. I thought he was in the top. He was in the top 3.
I don't know.
Top 3.
All right, let me just say one thing.
That's not what I asked you. I said, was he ever the best cornerback in football?
You know Ty Law's in the league when Deion Sanders in the league, right? You guys are aware of that, right?
It don't matter. He was a bad quarterback.
He wasn't better than Deion.
He wasn't never better than Deion. He was never better than Champ Bailey. I mean, he was never the best.
You know why he was better than Deion and Champ Bailey is because he got 3 Super Bowl rings.
I'm not gonna listen to you.
That's why he's better than both of them.
You discredited. Deion got 5 rings. You discredited, man.
He got 3 Super Bowl rings.
You just said he's better than Deion Sanders. I'm not listening to you no more.
Yeah, that's insane, Tony.
Okay, I have a question now. Is Teddy Bruschi a Hall of Famer?
Hell no.
No.
Hell no.
No.
Oh, wow.
He was there for those Super Bowl championships.
Only Tony Watley thinks he is.
Come on now. Come on, stop.
Wait a minute. So
Come on now.
So Brewski's not a Hall of Famer, but Ty Law is?
Law started. Brewski didn't play.
Yes, he did, man.
Brewski was defense. You could very well make a case that Brewski was the defensive star of that team.
Oh God!
And I tell you, I'm questioning. I'm questioning their credibility. They wasn't watching the same games I was watching. I'm questioning his credibility.
Oh my God! Y'all don't fell and bumped y'all's head now.
As I believe, wasn't Bruce? Like I said, Teddy Bruschi was a good football player. He good,
but he's not no Hall of Famer.
You could
he's not a Hall of Famer.
You could make a case. Like I said, you could make a case that he was the star of that defense.
No,
that's true right there. Now that's true.
Hey, what about Willie McGinnis though, Mike? Some people were saying about Willie. I think Willie was more of a star than.
All of them was good, man. All of them.
I mean, like I said, I'm not saying they were. I mean, like when you ask somebody who was on that defense, they're going to say Teddy. 9 times out of 10, they're going to say the first defensive player they're going to say is Teddy Bruschi.
Well, because
again, you don't win 3 Super Bowls in 4 years without a good defense. You say what you want.
Nobody said they didn't have a good defense. What are you talking about?
Defenses win championships. So
Watley,
there's a lot of there are a lot of people on that. Would you let me finish? There are a lot of people on that New England defense that deserve to be great players. I'm not saying Hall of Fame, but they were great players. You don't win 3 Super Bowls in 4 years unless you are a great defense.
We're not disputing that though. We're talking about Hall of Fame.
But they had a quarterback too, though, so you got to have that as well.
But here's the thing, though. Okay, when we talk about great defenses, right? Everybody points to the Tampa Bay defense and the Baltimore
Hall of Famers,
right? Well, the thing with the Tampa Bay defense is they had a lot of players on there. They had Pat Brooks, Barber, and Lynch. But the thing with Baltimore's defense, the first one, 2001. Who do they say is the anchor of that defense?
Ray Lewis.
Exactly.
No.
With no doubt, no question, right? But with the Patriots, who is the anchor of that defense?
There is no anchor. It's a collective. Rodney Harrison.
Okay, there you go.
No, it wasn't. Rodney Harrison came in a little later. He came in when they won. I think he came when they won the last one. He wasn't there for the first 2 though.
Yeah. So I mean, the thing with the Bucks was, I mean, they had a lot of guys that they brought in, and the people that they drafted that were like Hall of Fame players, and a couple of players, that Baltimore brought in. They brought in Rod Woodson. They had Ray Lewis that eventually became a Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
But with the New England Patriots, that first run, I mean, you have those guys. You have Ty Law, you have Teddy Bruschi, you have Willie McGinnis and the like. But is any of those guys a person that you would say, I'm not saying they're first ballot, but I'm saying, would you think that they would eventually get enough votes to become a Hall of Famer?
I think
I say no.
7 of the players on that defense will eventually be in the Hall of Fame.
Rodney Harrison got 2 Super Bowl rings too. He has 2 rings with the Patriots.
You got Richard Seymour and Vince Wilfork.
Yeah, Seymour's a Hall of Famer.
Wilfork's in. Well, yeah, we all know Wilfork's in.
And Seymour is in. Seymour's in too. Matter of fact, this time is coming up soon too. I think in a couple of years.
To me, like I said, I'd have to go back. I mean, you got a lot of dudes like Rodney Harrison who are good players, but he ain't a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I don't think he's a Hall of Famer either. And I think too, he was, of course, a dirty player. So I think another thing that might sway people away because he was kind of dirty.
You say Ty Law's a Hall of Famer, but I mean Lloyd Malloy. I mean, is he a Hall of Famer?
Yeah.
Ooh.
His name been up on there though. I seen his name. I think eventually he's gonna get in. I think his name.
To me, isn't he better than Ty Law?
No.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
No.
They both were Pro Bowlers.
That is a good question. Man. Man, I don't know.
No.
You look at defense. That's why I said the only surefire. You got Vince Wilfork and you got Richard Seymour. That that are, like I said, that are surefire. To me, everybody else is questionable. Once you start getting questionable, you're not really a Hall of Famer. I mean, you might, like I said, that's like, well, I don't want to talk about baseball, but that's, that's like Craig Biggio making it. It's like he made it, but it's like, what the fuck? How did Craig Biggio make it? So,
he had those hits though, but we all know the Baseball Hall of Fame is done a little different how they do the voting. It's kind of crazy.
You play 25 years, you're gonna accumulate stats. But I mean, like I said, I think off that defense, you got Seymour and Wilfork. Off the offense, you got Brady. Shit.
You got that's pretty much all I was gonna say too. One of the other Super Bowls, do you all think Corey Dillon's a Hall of Famer?
Well, Corey Dillon, he might make it, but he wasn't primary. That's not what his primary team. I mean, that's like.
I know. I'm just saying general player. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he did have Corey Dillon for that 1 year.
He might. Corey Dillon is going to fall into that category of a lot of dudes that got 10,000 yards, but then you look at them and wonder if they're really a Hall of Famer or not.
It's been a while because it's been a while since a running back. Because the bus is still waiting. I don't think Jerome. I'd be kind of surprised if he get in this one. I don't think he's going to get in on this one.
Who is on the Bills that they got? They used to play with the Jaguars, I think.
Talking about Buffalo?
Yeah, he's on Buffalo right
Eric
now.
Moulds? He's a running back or receiver?
Running back.
He used to play for the Jaguars?
Fred Taylor?
Fred Taylor.
Natron Means?
Yeah, Fred Taylor.
Fred Taylor.
He did play for New England too. I forgot. I think to the end, yup.
Yeah, didn't he get 10,000 yards?
Yeah, he's around that record. I think he's a guy who's gonna get in, but it's gonna probably be.
I don't think so. That would mean Corey Dillon has to get in.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's gonna be a while for him, because I mean, Edgerrin James, Edgerrin James is up. His name been up in there on the as one of the finalists, but I know he's not gonna get in this year.
Fred Taylor got 10,000 yards, but he's never been a Pro Bowler or an All-Pro.
Who?
Exactly. Fred Taylor.
Oh, dang. Yeah, he ain't getting in.
I can look at Edgerrin James and say, okay, I've seen Edgerrin James be a top 2 player in his position.
Yeah.
I can't look at Fred. I can't look at Fred Taylor and say that. I can't look at Corey Dillon. Well, we might. Shit, Corey
Dillon was.
He just
Corey Dillon too. Remember the time he set that record from
Corey Dillon?
He did that record when he had close to 300 yards in one game.
Corey Dillon was like a top 4 or 5 running back.
Back and look at Corey Dillon, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, like I said, he's good but never really great. I mean, I don't know.
He was on a sorry team, man. That's what the
problem
was.
He was on some bad teams too, though. I think if he was like say with the Cowboys or one of those elite teams, and you might would have got a bit more pub with sorry Cincinnati.
I mean, you got dudes like Ricky Waters that got 10,000. I mean, there's a
lot
of
he
dudes
still ain't is.
That are right around that 10,000-yard barrier.
Because they finally getting your boy Roger Craig. His name was up for the past several years of being up as a finalist. I think eventually he might probably get in. And Terrell Davis.
I think that if you look at players and if you factor in what their offense was, I think you got to have Roger Craig in there. I mean, for the time that he played and the era that he played in, for a running back to go 1,000, to me that's spectacular.
He was the first running back to ever do that too.
Yeah, like I said, he was clearly, like I said, he spent his career on a passing team, but he was clearly he could have went to other teams and rushed for 1,500 yards.
Yeah.
So I think I don't know. Like I said, he might be a player. He might have to wait and get put in on the old folks. On the.
Yeah, I think the way it's going. Because there's some guys, like you said, him and Terrell Davis, and like I said, look at some other guys that's going to be names that going to be appearing. That's just, it's stacked right now.
Yeah, I don't know if you could put. I don't know if you. I like TD. I don't know if you could put him in there though.
Who?
I don't think so. Neither. Not Terrell Davis.
Yeah,
I think he's going to be. I think he's going to be a senior committee guy because, everybody going to say he has a short career, but hell, Gale Sayers had a short career too with being hurt, so. That's the same thing. He helped the Broncos. The Broncos won that first Super Bowl without him.
Gale Sayers had a short career when Cat kind of played short. I mean, that like I say, and plus, like I say, Sayers, for what he was doing back then, he was kind of a different kind of cat. I mean, it was, like I say, you get dudes who are kind of in different eras, and Gale Sayers was Marshall Faulk back then. So I mean, I don't know if he can, but I mean, like I say, it might be a for him to get. That's like Bill Walton getting into the NBA Hall of Fame.
I was gonna say you just had me thinking. You just had me thinking though. Some guys might have to take a back seat because you.
Hold on. Bill, hold on. I want to get on basketball real quick. Bill Walton ain't no damn Hall of Famer.
Yeah, we all know.
No NBA Hall of Famer.
Yeah, we all know
we
that.
We know why.
He had a couple years.
Oh my God. Oh well. Hey, we got 2 minutes left, y'all.
You gotta look at it. I mean, he had injuries, but he was an MVP and he won a championship.
That dude only had 3 years. 3 years in the league.
In those 3 years, he won an MVP and he won a championship.
So he's the first ballot Hall of Famer.
And he won a championship in Boston as a role player.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
All right, man.
Wow, Sean Marion
he only had 3 dominant years, and he's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Well, not to mention he might have been the best college player of all time, or at least top. He's in the top 3.
Nope.
Yeah. He's in the top 3.
He's in the top. He's in the top. I give him that. He's in the top.
Oh shit, he's
Kareem,
like Patrick Ewing.
Larry Bird, or like Larry Bird's a top 5 all-time player.
Nah, Bill Walton undefeated in college and got 2 Player of the Year awards.
Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, UCLA was bad.
Not 2 championships, undefeated. He never lost.
Other than that time they lost to Notre Dame. That Notre Dame that ended the streak. I think he was in that game, right? Or did he play? Or he didn't play that night when Notre Dame?
No, that was
he was in the game.
That was Elvin Hayes and fucking Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, man. That wasn't Walton.
Sure,
Walton was undefeated. Okay.
All right.
All right. All right, folks. Good show.
I was gonna say Sean Marion. I was gonna say they just said on the ticker. I don't know if y'all watching Oklahoma and Washington. They said Sean Marion's gonna retire at the end of the season. Him being an All-Star, you all think he's a Hall of Famer?
Nope.
Hell no.
Sean Marion.
Wow, Mark Rick receives a 2-year extension to 2019 and raise a $4 million per year. Your boy, Cali Mike. So he ain't going nowhere.
According to Tony Wiley, he's one of the best coaches in college football. So.
Oh wow.
Really?
Remember
Wiley,
you said that last week about the coaches, SEC.
You said that 2 weeks ago, Wiley.
Oh my God.
Last week. You said that last week.
Or was it last week? Yeah.
Yeah, it was last week.
Yeah, Wiley said James Wilson better than Marcus Mariota tonight. He said that. So y'all know the deal.
But I say the only thing that saved him for his job right now is when he beat Florida about to be a year ago. If he hadn't beat that game, if Georgia hadn't beaten Florida, man, I think Rick would have got fired, man.
When the hell did you hear me say Mark Rick? I have been saying Mark Rick should have been fired for the last 5 years.
Rick James don't coach football.
This is the part of the show where we start getting into lies.
Come on now. Mark Rick needs to be fired. I've said it many times.
You don't remember when you were trying to compare coaches between the Pac-12 and the SEC.
As yes, he is a Hall of Fame coach, but his time has come and gone.
Start telling me about good coaches.
He is a Hall of Fame coach. Mark Rick is a college Hall of Fame coach, but his time has come and gone. He's done. He's been done.
I think he's good. I think he's good, but I don't think he's a Hall of Fame coach.
He is definitely a college Hall of Fame coach.
He's been there for almost over a decade, and he still hasn't won a championship.
Mark Rick is a Hall of Fame college coach.
And Georgia had some talent. Teams still have some talent.
Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on. Do y'all realize how crazy Watley is? 5 seconds ago, he was saying dude isn't a good coach. Now he's saying he's a Hall of Fame coach.
I'm saying currently. Currently, he sucks. It is time for him to retire. But as far as his career is concerned, he is a Hall of Fame coach.
Hold on 1 second, Watley. Hold on 1 second, guys. I want to be serious for a second. I want to talk to the audience. There's a lot of undiagnosed mental illness in the African American community.
Whatever, dude.
And try to find a cure.
Like I said, he is a Hall of Fame. His career is a Hall of Fame career, but he has come to the end of that career, and it's time for him to give it up.
Hall of Fame?
Yes, Hall of Fame.
The coach at the University of Georgia?
Yes, Mark Rick at the University of Georgia is a Hall of Fame college football coach.
He never won a national championship. How?
You don't have to win a national championship to be a fucking Hall of Fame coach.
Shit. I don't know. Shit. What? Are you kidding me?
See, you guys don't understand. Come on, you don't. There are hundreds of coaches in the Hall of Fame that didn't win a national championship.
Nick Saban, Jimmy Johnson.
There's only 10. There's only 10 coaches in the Hall of Fame.
I say, Rick,
you're talking out of your damn head right now.
I say Rick turned Georgia around because before he got there, Georgia was kind of he kind of got it going, but he just hasn't taken it. He just haven't taken it to that next level, man. They'll win.
Mark Rick is a Hall of Fame coach. Period.
Yeah, Georgia is a Hall of Fame. At the University of Georgia, is a Hall of Fame coach. You're right.
Yeah, I agree with that, Eddie. Yeah, he's a University of Georgia Hall of Fame.
Y'all really show how much y'all know about football.
But I give him his due. He did beat Florida a couple of times. So hey, now before he got there,
Florida had a lot of national championships. How many does Georgia have? The question I want to ask Watley.
Because he can beat you on interstate rival like that. You know, Georgia and Florida as a rival. Hey, he did get him a couple of times. I give Rick his due on that.
The SEC has.
They beat Florida State. They went to that championship. What else have they done?
The SEC currently has 4 Hall of Fame coaches in it right now.
Right now.
Name
the 4, Tony.
Mark Richt, Steve Spurrier, Saban, and oh boy at LSU are all Hall of Fame coaches.
Come on, Les Miles.
Les Miles.
No.
Yes, they are Hall of Fame coaches.
Hey, Kelly Mike, you think Les Miles is a Hall of Fame coach?
Absolutely.
I don't think he's a very good coach, but by virtue of 2 national championships, hold on. Did he win 2 or did he only win 1?
No, he only won 1.
He won 1.
He won that, but he won that on some of Saban's recruits.
I mean,
Les Miles is a Hall of Fame coach. Oh, and I didn't even do old boy from Auburn. He gonna be a Hall of Fame coach too.
He's a Hall of Fame coach. Fucking season.
Not yet. I wouldn't say that just yet, though. I mean,
he's building his legacy.
I wouldn't say it.
Wait a minute.
He's still got some ways to go.
The only coaches I think that are Hall of Fame coaches out of the SEC is Spurrier and Saban. That I think.
Yeah, I think like I said, you're biased.
Will make it.
The bottom line is Rick, Spurrier, Saban, and Miles are Hall of Fame coaches, guaranteed.
Mark Richt is only a bottom line to you.
I think the old coach for Tennessee is a Hall of Fame coach too. Philip.
Fulmer is a Hall of Fame coach. He will be in the Hall of Fame.
He gonna get in.
Oh boy, Phil Fulmer is one of the and you know that Tony. Phil Fulmer is one of the most overrated coaches in history. You know that.
Philip Fulmer had the highest winning percentage of any coach in the history of college football.
He did?
He did?
Yes. Yes. He did.
Yeah. I don't even have time to look like that up. I'm so bad.
Philip Fulmer had the highest percentage of wins of any coach in college football.
What do you mean had? Because he went 3-4.
Because his last 2 or 3 years, Tennessee fell off.
Okay, you have to add those in. Those seasons just do not count anymore. You have to add those in.
But what I'm saying is, at the time, he had the best in career, and he had a national championship. He is definitely a Hall of Fame coach.
As of right now, Jimbo Fisher has the best head coaching percentage of all time. So if he is, can we just put him in the Hall of Fame right now?
Like they say, don't argue with idiots because they'll bring you down to their level and beat you with experience.
Okay.
No one is stupider than Tony Watley.
Because, like I said, Phil Fulmer is a Hall of Fame coach. He will get in. I guarantee it.
But here's a question. I have one question.
You are a Hall of Fame coach, Tony Watley.
I agree with Tone. That Fulmer gonna get in.
I think Tony's in the Hall of Fame.
The Tennessee Vols won the very first BCS championship. Just that alone will get him into the Hall of Fame.
So Ron Zlick going to the Hall of Fame too, right? Is Ron Zlick in the Hall of Fame? Is Ron Zlick going to the Hall of Fame, Watley?
Who?
Shit. You heard me, Ron Zlick.
Shut up, dude. Really?
Now, the thing with Phil Fulmer is, right, he did win a national championship at Tennessee. How many national championships did Tennessee win before that?
None.
One, and that was back in the 50s or 40s or somewhere.
Back in racism.
So
Tennessee, he is definitely a Hall of Fame coach. Like I said, In those last 4 years he was there, just like Mark Richt, he should have been fired. They should have let him go because he wasn't doing anything. The way that he was coaching wasn't conducive to the new SEC. Same way with Mark Richt. The way that he coaches is not conducive to the new SEC. It is time for him to go.
Look, if you give me Peyton Manning, Peerless Price, and Jamal Lewis, it's easy for me to win.
He did not win the national championship with Peyton Manning. He won the national championship with T. Martin.
Like I said, it's easy for me to win with those guys.
He didn't win with Peyton Manning. He won with T. Martin.
Agreed. It's easy for me to win with those guys.
Where did T. Martin make the NFL? I mean, what did he do in the NFL?
T. Martin's a little bit better than you, Tony. So I mean, you can factor that in.
Wow. Nah, I'm not.
Well,
gonna
and that
that,
matters.
At least, but Peerless Price was the MVP of that national
quarterback of the year.
Game.
And that matters because we're talking about me.
Yes. He knows more about Tennessee football than you. Yes.
Like I said, there are at least 4 Hall of Fame quarterbacks in the SEC right now, and possibly 5, because I would say Auburn's coach will end up being a Hall of Fame coach.
It's too early to say it, though.
Too early. I don't think so.
Like I said, I can't call him one right now, but if he keeps doing with Auburn what he's done so far, 10 years from now, he'll be a Hall of Fame coach.
Is Larry Coker a Hall of Fame coach, Tony?
Who?
Oh, shit. I keep saying these names very nice and slow. Larry Coker, is he a Hall of Fame coach?
What the fuck did Larry Coker do?
What? He won a national championship?
What? Never mind. Can we move on? It's 10 minutes after 11, please. You're being ridiculous. Larry Coker is not a fucking Hall of Fame coach.
Okay, so
he doesn't have.
But he won a national championship. But Mark Richt.
Okay, several coaches have won national championships that shouldn't be Hall of Fame coaches. You take over a great team, and you can win a national championship.
Yeah, like Philip Fulmer.
Philip Fulmer had longevity, though.
Philip Fulmer was the coach at Tennessee for 20 years.
Yeah, and they were sorry and garbage for most of them years.
No, they were not.
Tennessee was garbage.
Where was Tennessee football before Peyton Manning got there?
You have to understand. Please don't say anything while I say this, because right now you're about to irritate me. You have to understand something. Before the BCS, the SEC's championship game was the Sugar Bowl. If you made the Sugar Bowl, you were the best team in the SEC. Tennessee went to the Sugar Bowl at least 7 times under Philip Fulmer.
They did?
They
never beat Florida.
Yes, they did.
No, they didn't. They could never beat Florida. No, they didn't.
All right. So you going to tell me Tennessee ain't never go to the Sugar Bowl?
Hell no.
Oh, shit. Not no fucking 7 times, no. Not 7 times, no.
All right. I think you need to go look at the Sugar Bowl record.
No, I don't need to.
No, I'm going to do it. Huh?
Go ahead, go.
Don't fall for that.
I'm going to do it because...
I'm just going to say, well, actually, like I said, first of all, you guys noticed Tony quit talking after he looked it up and seen that Adrian Peterson didn't make any money last year too, right?
Yeah, Adrian Peterson got paid for all but the last 4 games. It wasn't until after his sentence that they suspended him. Before that, he was put on the commissioner's list, and he was getting paid his salary until the last 4 games of the year. So he made the majority of his money last year.
That's not what you said, Watley.
Okay, but what you're saying is he didn't get paid at all. You said he didn't get. You said he got 0 last year. He got paid all but 4 games last year.
No, he didn't.
All right. Hey, I looked it up. And guess what? Tennessee has been in the Sugar Bowl 7 times.
Thank you.
To the Sugar Bowl.
Under Philip
Thank
Fulmer?
You. Thank
Under
you.
Philip Fulmer?
Tennessee has been in the Sugar Bowl 7 times.
Hold on. Under Philip Fulmer, James?
Oh, no, not under Philip Fulmer, no.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Oh, wow.
Told you. We knew that. Because the problem was Peyton Manning could never be University of Florida. That's why they could never get nowhere. He could never be UF. He never be UF. You know that, right, Wiley?
Yeah, well, he knows that.
Exactly.
We are not talking about in y'all's small 5-year mentality period, okay?
But the thing about it is that they didn't make the Sugar Bowl, but at least they made the Orange Bowl at least one of those times when Manning was there. I know
exactly.
Orange Bowl.
But that doesn't mean they were never the SEC champions though when Manning was there, because he said if you made the Sugar Bowl, you're an SEC champion. That never happens. They can never beat you out. So that never happened.
Look, y'all got to remember, unless you made it before BCS, unless you made it to your to the Sugar Bowl or whatever your conference's bowl was, them other bowls really didn't matter because it was Bowl Alliance. And you had the Pac-10 and the Big Ten. There was contracted to go to the Rose Bowl all them years.
Yep.
So
before the BCS, the SEC champion went to the Sugar Bowl.
Just because you made it to the Orange Bowl or the Cotton Bowl or some shit wasn't no big shit. I mean, not the
before
Cotton Bowl.
The BCS, the SEC champion went to the Sugar Bowl.
The Cotton Bowl used to be as big as the Orange Bowl and all them other bowls.
Before the BCS, the SEC champion went to the Sugar Bowl.
The SEC champion goes to the Sugar Bowl now. What the fuck are you talking about? It hasn't changed. It's always been that way.
The SEC champion now goes to the national championship usually.
Yeah, you said usually because they just now got their asses busted.
No, 6 out of the last 8 years, the SEC champion has went to the national championship and won it.
I don't know about all. I don't have a DeLorean.
And won it.
Time travel. I don't know about all them other years.
And won it.
I can't go 80
and won it.
And go back in time. I'm not
and
going to go back
won it.
At least.
And won it. 6 of the last 8 years, the SEC champion has gone to the national championship and won it.
Okay, quit living
and won it.
Quit living in the
and won it. Do I have to say that again? And won it?
I wish I was in the studio. I could block you right now.
Can't handle the truth.
And won it.
See, what happened is Mike is upset because he has to be a bandwagon fan this year because USC is not good anymore. He jumped in the bandwagon of Oregon. He got a feeling.
Mike ain't an Oregon fan.
Yes, he is.
Nope. Mike don't like Oregon. Mike is all
that's
USC.
The only way I'm going to have it. Mike is an Oregon fan. That's the only way I'm going to have it. Next year, you better be rooting for Oregon.
I never said I was an Oregon fan. Who told you that?
I'm talking about Mike from Cali.
Oh.
Mike is an Oregon fan. You're an Oregon fan, Mike. That's the only way I'm going to have it. You're an Oregon fan, officially.
I'm a USC fan.
No. Oregon.
Eddie, who is your team?
That's why I met you at Oregon, actually, Mike. Don't act like I don't know where you're from. You're from Portland, Oregon, Mike. That's why I met you at.
Who is your team, Eddie?
Eddie's team is who's ever winning.
Exactly.
You know those people.
Exactly.
My team won it all this year. What you talking about?
What?
Exactly. See, who's ever winning now? All of a sudden, he an Ohio State fan.
Yeah.
I've been an Ohio State fan. I've been an Ohio State fan.
Yeah, we know. We know. You were just one of them. You were one of them quiet Ohio State fans, right? Until they won.
Ohio State fan.
Now all of a sudden you loud and proud.
Ohio State fan, baby.
I thought you was Florida State, baby.
Man, you know I'm Ohio State, man. What you talking about, man?
We hear you.
About, man.
We hear you.
They're the champions, man. It's all good to be a part of a champion, to be with a champion.
Yeah.
It ain't your team, man.
Really, let me tell y'all something y'all know. Did y'all know that Mike from Cali is Mike really is a Canadian? He's from Ontario, Canada. Did y'all know that?
Let's get back to the charity football game with you and what you Wiley and Caldwell. Where's a local park and football field we can get this thing organized at?
Mike is actually Canadian. He's from Ontario, Canada. That's what I want y'all to know.
Where can we get this football game organized at? You, Caldwell, and Tony.
Wow, you're funny. Ha!
I just want to see who the best football player in Tampa is. Is that too much to ask?
Actually, I'd like to you and Wiley play one-on-one in basketball. That's what I would like to see.
I don't partake in physical conflict. I use my mind to settle my problems.
I'd like you and Wiley play one-on-one in basketball. I think Wiley would beat you too.
I use my mind and my gun.
He will post you on one-on-one.
That's why I love living in a stand your ground state.
You stay off my line, and I'm off your line.
Mike has a gun too. Mike stands around in California. Y'all just shoot it out like the Wild Wild West.
So look, if we get this football game going, do you guys have other people who can fill in other positions too?
I'm done playing football. I'm too old for that shit.
We can get y'all get Eddie will get the FAMU alumni, and Tony you get the UF alumni.
Right now, I could just be walking, and all of a sudden, injuries from 25 years ago start hurting.
You go like, my legs, my knees. My knees is out.
my knees, ankles, ass, all kinds of shit just start hurting.
Hey Eddie, did I tell you about the time I was up here when he came up here when Fan came out here for the national championship?
What happened?
I shit you not, dude. That dude went, Mike, what are you doing? And I looked around. It was Coach Robinson. I was rolling, dude. He came out here when damn, who was that they had? Who was that? Was it Sheldon? One of them made it to nationals. Yeah, he came out here with Sheldon, and they was out here at the national championship, and I saw him out here. It was crazy. It was like I said, it was hella random too.
I would like to see you versus Wiley one-on-one in a hockey match too.
Wiley, hockey game. Anyway, all right. Look, we're about to come to the end of the show. You guys have anything else we want to talk about before we wrap things up? That is what's about to happen.
Y'all crazy as hell. I just had to get that on the record.
Now there is one thing that Eddie can verify, that when we did go on a road trip with Mike to Chicago, Mike tried to kidnap us. Mike tried to kidnap us in Chicago and not take us anywhere. Remember when Mike did that? When he started acting like he was sleepy and didn't want to take us nowhere?
And before we get off, I need to make sure y'all understand that Marcus Mariota's career stats are better than Jameis Winston's career stats, and that is posted on CMT.
Well, Mariota did play 3 years. Jameis Winston only played 2 years.
Exactly. So he had more seasons.
And Marcus Mariota is going number 1 overall over Jameis Winston.
And also, too, Tony, you kept on saying last week TCU will be Ohio State. TCU will be Ohio State.
And I'm going with the New England Patriots. No, I ain't. I don't know who the hell I'm going with for the Super Bowl. I can't make up my mind.
We got a whole nother week.
Yeah, but
I can't even make up my mind.
I did say this on the chat, and I say it on the record now. I put up 100 with Eric. I said that Jameis Winston would not even fall in the top 5 in the NFL draft. I recorded.
I might want some of that money. I don't know.
Jameis Winston will not fall within the top 5 of the NFL draft.
Give me some of that money. I don't know. That sounds like good money.
I think that's a fair bet. I think that's a fair bet. I think that's a good bet.
Quazell, you need to get on that bet with James then, since he's saying that.
The only problem is I'm looking at the Jets. The Jets need a quarterback, but in the top 5, I think they're 6th, aren't they?
They up there, but I don't know if they're gonna take a quarterback. They quiet about.
They need one.
About Geno. They mum about Geno Smith. They might see what This was Geno's second year. Might need to see what he can do for bringing in, because wherever they do take another quarterback, they're gonna probably ruin that quarterback. So, they might just need to look to bring in a veteran quarterback, or if they're gonna take a quarterback, maybe take a quarterback in later round, but not that high of a pick. If that's the case, then they need to. If they're gonna do that, then they need to trade Geno Smith in free agency. Then.
Yeah, the Jets are at 6. The Jets are at 6. So I think you got a good bet there, James, because if anybody's going to take one, it's going to be the Jets. And if they take one, then you got it right, because the only other team I see, well, I don't know, Tennessee might need a quarterback too.
That's the only
they've been talking about
that I really
that too
see
with
that
Tennessee.
needs the quarterback is Tennessee. And Tennessee, I said Tennessee will pick Mariota at 2.
But then
so you think the Bucks are not going? You think the Bucks are not going with a quarterback? Number one.
But then too, Williams, or either they're going with Williams or they're trading the pick.
But then too, you can't go by that board. You never know. Some teams might decide to trade up, or the teams we see now trade down. So you never know.
Well, like I said, I see Mariota going to Tampa Bay, but you never know. Tampa Bay just took a quarterback in Glennon, so they might consider themselves already having their quarterback.
I don't know if Glennon's the way it's looking. I don't know if Glennon's the guy.
Yeah, that was a 3-year-old pick now, man.
I don't know.
I say the Bucks are more likely than the Jets, because this was Geno Smith's second year. I think looking at it, I'm gonna give Geno another year.
I don't know about that. I think the Jets gonna get another quarterback. Geno's not looking good at all.
The Jets never took him that high in the first place, so they kind of messed up anyway taking him that high. And also, they still need to get some more weapons off, because they could get another running back, a receiver, tight end. They need some more playmakers on that offense.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So if I was them, I wouldn't.
I think you got to. I think that's a pretty safe bet on your side, James. Unless Tampa takes a quarterback. If Tampa takes a quarterback, I think Tennessee's going to take one too.
But also,
with Tampa, if they, Leonard Williams is to me, he's a clear number 1 pick. But with Tampa's defense, they would actually, in Matt's words, they would actually draft a guy like Randy Gregory more for the defense that they run. I mean, they're not going to get Leonard Williams and put him on the inside, next to put him on the inside. They'd have to put him on the outside, and I don't know if he's the kind of edge rusher that you need in that sort of defense. I think you need more of a speed kind of guy, which might be Randy Gregory.
Like Texas been saying that all the past few years about Tampa. They don't have that speed rusher.
Yeah.
I really can't say.
I mean, I was saying too, because how the Jets did Sanchez like that, and then the Tebow, they know they kind of messed up, and they went and got drafted Geno Smith. I just think they're gonna get, I just think they